I just opened the YouTube comments. And the first thing I see is Nandela, you saying, everyone ready with their snide comments. Hopefully I didn't scare everyone coming on again if you're having me in the background. Um, that was really funny. Everyone, before we start, we're gonna start maybe 15 minutes. What's the movie of the decade? What's your favorite movie? Or what do you think is the best movie of the decade? Mute Discord. Good call. Wait, why am I wait, unmuted. I was muted. Hold on. Wasn't I muted? Was I not muted? I think I'm muted. I gotta share my screen though. Okay, I was muted. Perfect. Guys, the members in YouTube or in our Discord, we're having a discussion about what the movie of the century is. It's a very hot button issue. What is the movie of the century? I have to catch up on 72 messages. Also, he's being a little terror. He's the cutest dog in the world, isn't he? He's got his little toy. He wants to play right now, so if you see me going crazy with my arm everywhere. Nandela, I promise you I'm muted. Am I in a different... I'm 100% muted in the Discord. Do you have me open as two tabs or something like that? Also, I didn't finish my apple, so I'm gonna be crunching a little bit in the first 5 minutes of the stream. That's really weird you hear me. I'm completely muted on Discord. Maybe there's something else. Oh, man. I love seeing people's top 20 lists of movies. Oh, Wes is dragging me off the screen. You are not muted. You got another tab open. Wait, Zenith, I'm not muted on YouTube, but I'm muted on Discord. Also, I have to, yeah, hold on. Let me get the, you guys probably all have the Discord link. You probably are all already there. But, wait, what the heck? Sorry for the mute fusion. Wait, Zenith, you said I'm not muted. You're hearing me twice too? Are you guys sure you don't have two tabs open? Because I promise you, with everything in me, I am, it's not up on my phone, right? No. Maybe my laptop? No. Who else is hearing me twice? And just make sure you don't have two tabs open. Thank you, Jables. Also, sorry for the chewing. Ouch. Wes is going nuts right now, so that's why I look like I'm going nuts. Also, I'm going to get up like 15 minutes into the movie because I have to go get a, I shouldn't talk with my mouth full, sorry. Because I have to go get a frozen peanut butter bone that I'm going to give him to keep him occupied. June, what are you cooking for lunch? And yes, we are watching it now. Well, like 15 minutes. So, cook away. Okay, by show of hands, who's still hearing me twice? Ooh, stir fry. I love a good stir fry. All right, guys, back to the important discussion. What's the best movie of the decade? Gosh, I'm dying over here. Sorry, everyone. This is the most unpleasant first 10 minutes of a stream you're ever going to experience. Gosh. Okay, I promise. I'm muted on Discord. Let's do within the last 10 years. Or let's do best movie in your lifetime. Let's do that. Everyone, I know, Kristen knitted this or crocheted it. She didn't knit, she crocheted it. And it's one of my favorite things ever. Kristen, she's probably not watching, but if you're watching, this is my favorite thing ever. my love language is not gift giving. I don't like receiving gifts ever. If someone gives me something, 9 times out of 10, I don't use it or it just ends up in the trash or something like that. I'm like very much a minimalist, but this was like, I wanted this. So, what even is the last decade? Yeah. So let's not do the last decade. What's the best movie in your lifetime? That's maybe a tougher one. What's the best movie in your lifetime? The Princess Bride. Man, that was so good. What movie going experience do you guys have going to a movie and it like revolutionizing your life? I remember a few, and you can't make fun of me for this, but Avatar, when I saw it in high school, was just a revolution and a revelation, because that movie had no expectations and it was just about blue people, and we all went to the movie theater expecting like a fun little movie, because me and my friends would go every Friday in high school, and we saw that movie and all of us left like, what did we just watch? That was incredible. But then I remember seeing, Avatar is just Pocahontas in space. Agreed. But it was the FX were insane. I think I remember reading something saying, how long did it take it? How long did it take for Avatar to render 1 second? I think it took like a week to render like to tackle the task of helping create Avatar. Took wedded digital supercomputers processing up to 1.4 million tasks per day, 8 gigabytes of data per second, running 24 hours over a month. I'd like the new one, Avatar 2. I remember seeing something really specific about that. Eight hours frame. I heard it was like a week of frame or something like that. Maybe something like that, and maybe a second or something. I don't know what it was, but that was insane. That's like crazy to me. FX Studios. Yeah, Avatar VFX are insane. Jurassic Park. Dang, that was what a fun movie that would have been to see. Yeah, I think that's right. In theaters. Agreed, Ryan. Interstellar changed my life. That was incredible to watch in theaters. I was blown away by that movie. I've never before held on to my armrests like I did. I was like white knuckling it in that movie. The one docking scene. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was such a good movie. Such a good movie to watch in theaters. I have like 3 more bites of my apple, so bear with me. Maybe 2. I think the best movie in my lifetime is the movie Arrival. I love that movie. It's so good. Oh my gosh. I could talk about this movie for eons. But I maybe it's like I have a little bit of a bias. Wow, I couldn't say that. Bias because I really love language. Law Abiding Citizen. Dang, that was a hardcore movie. I love Arrival so much so. The music in it. Just give me a good music score or a film score in a movie, and I'm your guy. I'm a sucker for that. Iron Man was incredible. To see that for the first time in theaters, I was blown away. I remember leaving the theaters when I was in high school in 2008, and that came out. Sorry, this is disgusting. Being like, that was such a good superhero movie. But the only issue is that The Dark Knight came out that same year, and that was just next level. Sorry, this is pretty disgusting, I'm sure. Most people are going to have to skip, like, Matthew. Yes. As a child, one of the most revolutionary movies I've ever seen, The Battle at Mustafar, Duel of the Fates, was just everything. I was just entranced by that as a kid. Oh my gosh, that people could actually do that with lightsabers. Holy smokes, that was unbelievable. you're all you're echoey flat. I'm glad I could actually at least make you laugh. Ooh, Ryan, you're gonna have to send that. You have to send that in the Discord. We all want to hear it. Standing on the sideline watching time pass. There's a line in there somewhere. If you're isolating the two movies, Dark Knight is a better movie than Iron Man, but it's so dark that it doesn't have the same rewatchability for me. Iron Man 2, or Iron Man, just the first Iron Man, was so fun of a movie. Yeah, Iron Man really started the MCU. And we do all know how you feel about the MCU. Didn't Captain America come out before Iron Man, though? I did not like, I don't, if we're talking about Iron Man versus Cap, I'm such an Iron Man fan. I did not like most of the Captain America movies. I like Civil War because everyone else was in it, but I didn't like Captain America as a character. I found him lacking any depth, to be completely honest. A little boring. Yeah, The Dark Knight with the twists. That Dark Knight was such a crazy movie, though. I remember watching that, a bootleg copy of that, the first time I watched it, and I was still blown away. I was running basketball camps in China during the Olympics in 2008, and wow, that was a flashback. And I watched a bootleg copy of The Dark Knight because it came out that summer. We all were really excited to watch it, so we got a bootleg copy, popped it on in one of our rooms, and it was terrible because the quality was so bad. But that movie was still a revolution and a revelation. Oh, I hate Steve Rogers. I think he's just a boring character. And here's my issue with Steve Rogers. Everything that he criticized Iron Man on, which is like, this is Iron Man's arc. Crystal, we're going to talk about this at length when we do our Tamale talk. Everything that Cap criticized Iron Man on was everything that he was not good at, and everything that Iron Man eventually became good at. Like, he was the one that sacrificed his life. He was the one that didn't get everything that he really wanted. And Cap was the one that got everything that he wanted. So I'm not the biggest, I'm not the biggest fan. Once I had, once I had a girl that I was close to dating. She didn't break up with me because of this. But in my headcanon, she broke up with me because of this. Because she had a big thing for Captain America. And she asked me the question, who do you see more of yourself in, Captain America or Iron Man? Because we were having that debate during the Endgame series. And I said Iron Man. I said, like, easily Iron Man. It's like, I don't have Cap. Cap doesn't relate to me at all. I don't relate at all to Captain America. And I could tell she got visibly bummed about that. Ugh, come on, stop. Hold on one second, everyone. You agree, and yet you you relate to Steve so much. Um, I'm just not a Steve Rogers fan. I just am not a Steve Rogers fan at all. Just give me 1 second, everyone. Gotta figure something out real quick. Yeah, okay. I think Steve's bland. Deadpool is a fun one. Kind of like Deadpool. Um, we need to, yeah, guys. I really am gonna do a I think I'm gonna make one sometime this week. I'll throw it in the Discord for what the channel is gonna be. But this has been so fun to me that I'm gonna start another channel just on like other movie watches because I want to keep this Harry Potter specific really, but I want to do a lot of other stuff that's like I want to watch the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I just want to watch other people who like love that stuff, and we can all kind of just watch together. So it's just like a watch party channel. I feel like that'd be really fun because we were just talking. I haven't seen Gone with the Wind, and I would love to watch that. But the first movie we're gonna obviously do when we do this new channel is gonna be Lord of the Rings. That's an easy one. That's like such an easy one for me. Imagine watching that whole movie, which is like, oh, a bunch of people making. That'll be so fun. I can't wait for that one. All right, we're gonna start the movie in 3 minutes. We'll start at 6:50 my time. Come on, everyone. Oh, sorry. Wait, 1 second. I gotta stop Wes. Wes is chewing up something. He never chews something, but he is right now. So give me a second. Come on. I got a treat for you. I got a treat for you. Here. I'll keep you busy. Go, my friends. All right, Harry Potter time. Daniel Radcliffe's gonna be in Deadpool 3 as a Wolverine. Honestly, Daniel Radcliffe would be a decent Wolverine. No one beats Hugh because he was just a great Wolverine. Like Wolverine is Hugh in my opinion, but Daniel Radcliffe could do a good Hugh Jackman, a good Wolverine. All right, you guys all ready? We are gonna start the movie in a minute. And everyone needs. Did you guys? Another favorite movie that I have is Cool Runnings. And there's a scene in Cool Runnings where one of the moms, they're all watching the Jamaican bobsled team in on TV in one of like the little bars that they have, and one of the moms goes, "Everybody shut up. My boy's on TV." And anytime I'm watching a movie with some friends and they're all talking during scenes, that's what I say. I say, "Everybody shut up. My boy's on TV." And we all watch the movie and everyone shuts up. In the beginning of this movie, I'm going to say that because Lily's theme is one of the most beautiful pieces of music ever composed. And I love the framing of one of the first scenes. Not like the very, very first scene in this movie where they just like rehash the Dumbledore Voldemort thing. But Lily's theme is just next level. So everybody shut up. My boy's on TV. Oh my gosh, this is just ridiculous. Sorry, everyone. All right, we're going to start the movie in. Let me set up everything here. I got to set up the script real quick. Sorry. Um, in five, oh, four, three, two, one. Nice. Cool Runnings is underrated. Very underrated movie. Ooh, that was loud. I love how you hear the undertone of Lily's theme coming through this right now. Oh. Mm. Oh, this is so beautiful. Oh man, this is so beautiful. This is for some reason one of my favorite scenes in the entire film franchise. Snape overlooking his students right here. Oh. This is such good music. Uh, Everyone just get in your feels. Oh man. Wait, the movie's dark? Best intro in the franchise. Agreed. Hold on 1 second. Is it actually dark in the Discord? I think it's all right. Maybe I'll figure out a way to turn it somehow a little lighter. I think it's okay. Daniel Chadcliffe. I love this Luna line. One of the best Luna lines ever. One of the best Luna lines ever right here. Not in the books, but still great. What a creepy line. Luna would be great in a horror movie. Muggles think these keep evil away, but they're wrong. Oh, it's so creepy. Okay, one thing that I wish that they had. This was such a greatly written chapter, um, and it wasn't. I feel like some of the um, tone of this scene didn't play out. Harry becomes a man in this scene in the books. Well, not really becomes a man, but becomes a leader. Not really becomes a leader, becomes like a good leader because he's always been a leader before that. But this apple's coming back to eat me. This scene in the books, Harry is deliberating between Horcruxes versus Hallows, and then he finally makes this decision, and he's just a man in this scene, just a leader. The shot of the grave makes you cry more than where he dies. Mm. When do they find out that Snape is actually the headmaster? I think they find out before this, right? Yeah, Griphook is really good in this scene. He plays a very convincing Griphook, to be honest. Ryan. No, we don't learn Snape with the sword there, but we don't. When do we learn that he's the headmaster? Oh, it's mentioned on the radio. That's right. That's when they find out. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna keep pasting the Discord link so you guys can join that whenever you need. One thing that they didn't show in the movies that I mean they could have done this a little bit better in the previous movie in Deathly Hallows Part 1 is showing the when Harry learns about the Deathly Hallows how much he wants those and how he thinks that's the key to defeating Voldemort. And this is the moment where he makes the decision to reverse that and to go after Horcruxes. Wait, did I say Horcruxes before? The Hallows. He wanted the Hallows. Now he's going after the Horcruxes here. I love. This is a good acting decision right here. He goes unyielding. Uh, unyielding. That's great. I love that. Yeah, there's like a 5 second delay. Maybe should I? Yeah, John Hurt, so good. Does this mean I have to pause the stream? It means I have to bring the Discord up 5 seconds. I'm just gonna leave it for now. Yeah, Harry's suspicion of there being a Horcrux in Bellatrix's vault makes little sense in this movie because they skip Voldy's backstory in the Half Blood Prince. Agreed. Like, why would it be in the vault? I think they just assume that like it's where kept valuable things are kept. Yeah, this guy passed away, right? Hmm. Wand lore is so fascinating to me too. One of my friends, when he read it for the first time, was just obsessed with wand lore. It was so fun just like listening to his opinions on that. That's true. Yeah, Bella was freaking out about the vault. That was a good cue in the prior movie, I think. If I was part of the magical world, if I wasn't a muggle and I was a wizard, I would I would study wand lore and I would become a wand maker. I think that'd be so fun. Ooh, good idea, Crystal. It's there's always going to be a 5 second delay on the stream versus the Discord, but it shouldn't be crazy bad. I do love this scene as well. Like Ollivander thinks he's just innocent. He just like conveyed rumors to him. And then this is a greatly delivered line. Ollivander was great in the movies. John Hurt. Like his frailness in this scene, he's like saying this because he knows he's gonna die soon, and he knows like why. What else do I have to live for? I'm gonna die. It's on these kids, and he just that line is just a powerfully delivered line. I think that's such a good line. No, the stream keeps the stupid it's pausing. Hold on, everyone. If it keeps doing this, I'm gonna refresh it. Ah, bummer. Hold on, everyone. Give me a second. I'm gonna refresh this. Stopping this. Stand by. Lots of ads. There we go. We should be good now. Oh, sweet. That's perfect. If you're just watching on Netflix, that works too. We're at the scene where Hermione Bella as a well, she goes, "Good morning, good morning, good morning. Your Bellatrix Lestrange, not some dewy-eyed schoolgirl." No, she's right. He's right. I was being stupid, stupid. Ron is a convincing snatcher here. Kind of a babe. Ron is kind of a babe in this scene. Little beard, little long hair over his face. Wait, are they just they're not available for free on HBO, right? Are they available for free on HBO? Because what am I doing watching this? Oh, the issues I'm running into is I actually can't stream it to Discord if I watch some of those because they have filters on. I was gonna do this on Amazon because I actually have all the movies on Amazon, but I couldn't because they would black out the movies on Discord, unfortunately. So this site doesn't do that, but it's a little sketchy. Sorry. Chrome. Maybe I just gotta use Firefox or something like that. Yeah, Ron looks very much like Ron. Just looks like moody Ron. Maybe I'll use Firefox for these streams. And is that actually on HBO? It's not. Oh, it's on the new Max run one, right? I'll just do Firefox and get it on this next time. This is a funny little thing that we were talking about last movie. The Imperius fart. It's like a fart. Some people said because Harry hasn't mastered it yet, and I'm glad that he hasn't mastered it because it's an unforgivable curse. Yeah, the Imperious part. When he casts the Imperious curse, it like is like a gas cloud and it goes to his nose and he inhales it and he's Imperious. Ooh, okay, the 20-year thing is on HBO. Wait, the 20-year thing or the 20-year documentary? The 20-year reunion or documentary? Because that's what we're watching next. We're going to watch the documentary next. I always thought this would be like a fun roller coaster ride. Don't they have this at Universal, Escape from Gringotts? That would stink every single time that you have to go to your vault, you get wet. I mean, it's like good security, but that would just be so annoying. Wait, you guys were telling me about the documentary yesterday? Is the documentary the same as the reunion? Oh no, wait. When is that actual is that head canon or is that like actual canon that the Thief's Downfall isn't always active? Yeah, Max is a dumb name. They should just call it HBO. Oh, it says so in the books. That's interesting. I don't remember that part. Man, this is cruel. And it's a grip hook is a convincing grip hook because he looks like he's lavishing in this. When he's walking by, he's like so excited that he gets to cause this thing pain. What an evil little goblin. I know, poor dragon. The dragon gets his revenge though soon. The little Ukrainian iron belly. That's interesting. No way, Ryan. One of the funniest, one of the most memorable scenes that I listened to in binge mode was when Mallory Rubin said that she loved seeing Grip Hook get incinerated by the dragonfire. I laughed at that for so long. Because she said one of her favorite book to or movie to book changes was, or book to movie changes was the fact that he dies and you actually see him die. Because she hated him in the books. In the books, he was pretty evil as well. In the books, he wasn't like a neutral character, in my opinion at least. In the books, he was very, very maniacal and pretty evil. He's very greedy. Yeah, the burning charm would have been interesting to see that. Oh yeah, that's right. The guy shaking the bell gets incinerated. I forgot about that. You see Griphook's dead body though. Yeah, that guy, poor that guy. He's just like the owner of the bank. But, you know, we don't like bank owners. Aw, poor guy. Yeah, Ryan, I'm with you on this. I feel bad for this guy. They're just going from memory. Nice. That's impressive. No, yeah, this little guy just got toasted. They're at that scene in the movie where he just gets completely incinerated. I like how Hermione delivers this line, but it's mad. It's great. This reminds me a little bit of Kung Fu Panda. She looks so good saying that line. Yeah, Hermione's 100% a Gryffindor in that scene. This reminds me a little bit of Kung Fu Panda. That one scene of the prison break in Kung Fu Panda is one of the greatest scenes in animation history. I love that scene. Was that Harry's idea? I think that was Harry's idea in the book. But I can't remember exactly. I always thought that guy, the little goblin that they just showed, was the Conan O'Brien of the Goblin world. Aaron Bellatrix's outfit too, yeah. Woo. Man, Emma Watson. I always think that when I watch that scene, I'm like the Conan O'Brien of the Goblin world. I love Conan. It's my favorite. I mean, we're coming up to that. Well, we're not exactly at that part in the books yet. Maybe another like month we'll be there. So we'll get to see. Great music here too. Oh man. Except they're literally flying over London. I know, it makes me happy that the dragon's finally breathing fresh air out of this whole crap. It did kind of shock me how fast I felt like this movie went. Like, this scene was crazy. I remember watching this. Oof. He just slaughters everyone and then walks in a puddle of blood. It's gruesome. An angel took over my stream. Why? What just happened? It's the flashing colors or something. Oh, Nanda, I'm with you. Jumping into that cold water. Ugh. Oh, with those pipes of yours. Oh, stop it. I'm a terrible singer, but I am an exceptional whistler. I'm a very good whistler. It's compliment Sean weekend. I don't know. Nothing's gonna beat that one comment yesterday. What does she put on her hands there? I remember watching this for the first time, thinking yeah, again, I was saying this before, how fast they get to this point. Like, yeah, the prison break was not like crazy long in the books, but still, like they were already at Hogwarts 20 minutes into the movie, which was crazy to me. She's smoking here. Well, you can sing, but you've tried so hard to whistle but can't. Dittany for the burns. That's right. Wow, that's interesting they put that in there because they didn't actually have the burns. That's true. This movie takes place within 24 hours. That's wild. I had never thought about that before. That is actually pretty crazy. From the Shell Cottage scene in the books to the last scene, how long is that about? In the books. Yeah, rush back to the castle one more time. I think everyone kind of wanted to get to the castle. That was probably, I'm sure that was like a critique a little bit of the last movie, that you weren't in the castle. That's what the critique of the book too. Yeah, they spend weeks in Shell Cottage. Because they're planning the Gringotts thing in Shell Cottage. Those alarms seem so funny to me. They're like cats screeching. I know. I kind of like leaving the castle too. I like them being out. I want so much extra content for this series on stuff they do outside of the castle. I love the castle so much, but the I want more of the world. Part one is one of my least favorite movies. Really, it's all set up with zero payoff. I think part one they actually do a really good job adapting it, but then the payoff, I think I don't love this movie because I think they did set a few things up and this movie didn't pay them off. Like there's some things in this movie that did it. But I don't know. Caterwauling charm. That makes sense. Yeah, they didn't explain the mirror at all. The alarm noise is weird. I'm not sure, but I can't hear on the Discord stream. Can everyone else hear on the Discord if you're listening to it? I'll turn it up a little bit. I don't think my volume actually matters that much. This was such a crazy scene in the books when I was like, oh, that makes sense. You guys can hear it fine in the Discord. I don't know what it is, Katie. Yeah, you can raise and lower the volume. Try to raise the volume for the stream, yeah. Yeah, it does kind of make sense that they're in movies. That's a good point, just in case. Justin. I know them pouncing on the food is always a funny thing to me. Like they're literally waiting for him to put it down and they jump on the food. This always bothers me too that Harry doesn't eat here. I'm like, dude, how you got to be hungry a little bit. This always bothers me in movies whenever the heroes don't eat and they go like fight a big battle. I'm like, the only thing I'm thinking of is, aren't you hungry? This is a great line delivery. Although this scene is drastically different in the books. Hmm. Harry looks like it's a bit of a cold here. Well, he did just jump into freezing water, so if he got maybe he got a cold real quick. Maybe he was actually cold on set. That'd be funny if he was actually cold on set, or had a cold on set. I think this is the shortest movie. This is like 2 hours and 10 minutes, so it's not crazy long. Except time. It's a good line. Ariana is a babe. You guys are just on babe watch right now. Hermione, I always liked Emma Watson in this scene. The little braid, the look. She looks good here. Like the wardrobe, the outfit. Ron's outfits are wild. Yeah, the last 10 to 11 chapters are all in Hogwarts. It's true. I love this. It is really strange to me that Hermione, or not Hermione, Harry in the movies he like tells everyone that they're hunting Horcruxes, when really that lessens it because he only tells Neville, and he doesn't really even tell Neville the whole thing. He gives him like a quick synopsis. He just essentially says, kill the snake, and then you can kill Voldemort. No one learns about the Horcruxes. That's a cool scene when it like zooms into the painting and then it goes all the way down to the end. Total babes. Babes all around. Neville is a babe. Oh, yeah, yeah. What's his name again? Matthew. I love the scene in the books too, because Neville's just become such a leader. Who are we talking about? Who is sending the stuff? When we were talking about like describe Harry Potter but don't describe it, Matthew Lewis. That's right. Describe Harry Potter but don't describe it, and someone says the boy who could have been. Oh man, that's lovely. Now, is that Nigel or is that one of the Creevy brothers right there? Yeah, that was a great little tidbit right there, Ryan. I thought that was super good. Neville, oh, he's the best. I know it's not much to go on. That's nothing to go on. I do love Seamus's line right there. Seamus is great in this. I love Luna. Yeah, Matthew Lewis did do a whole. This is great. This is a great little line. Seamus's lines are so good in this movie. She got lots of them though. She only got one Harry. Yeah, Matthew Lewis. I think Joe confronted him on that once, or like tweeted it and said like Matthew no or something like that. Man, Snape is really running a tight school, making them all walk and march everywhere they go. I hated the Caros in the books. Was so glad when they got theirs because I hated them in the books. How dare you stand where he stood? Yeah, the scene at Ravenclaw Tower have been great. The fan under his ropes, Matthew. That was so funny. Yeah, that is a cool scene when Snape deflects the curses. I like that little scene in there. How dare you stand where he stood is a great addition. Agreed. I love that because it really shows like makes you hate Snape in the movies. In the movies, I think you hate him less than you do in the books. Because in the books, it's not like he doesn't have these like visual cues. This is great music too, right here. When he steps forward and the whole order steps out from behind him. Chills, chills, guys, literal chills. This is strategies. Oh, great music. How dare you stand where he stood? Oh, that's so good. Yeah, he looks sad here. 100% agree. He doesn't want to do this. Rickman's acting is very good. It's a little on the nose though sometimes. And then the curse that he deflects. Yes, well done. And then he becomes a bat. And then immediately she just makes it warm in there. A little interior decorating. Yeah, Daniel does a great job there. Agreed. I don't like Snape book or movies. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. Love Minerva there. I feel like that's somewhat of a popular opinion. I just think he's a complicated character. I think he's more complicated than people laid out. He's not just purely, he's not good, but he's also not bad. Lots of character motivations. He shut things out, had a lot of trauma. He's a fascinating character to me. This scene was really interesting because it was like this is happening in their heads rather than just like a loud voice, which I thought was really cool. Dang, that's so creepy. Yeah, difference between liking the character and liking the depth of the character. Agree with that. Yeah, little delays in his voice right there. Great job to the editing team. It was so creepy. Students. out of bed. Students in the corridor. Sorry, mom. Because I didn't understand ma'am was such a British thing, I always thought he said mom in that scene, and it confused me so much. Uh, Sorry, mom. Oh, that's a cute scene between them. I love that. I love that the whole castle like guards itself against Voldemort here. Yeah, Filch is in Game of Thrones. He's the evil guy at the Red Wedding who causes everything to happen. Yeah. The statues dropping is one of my favorite scenes. All Pierre Totem Locomotor. I've always wanted to do that spell. That scene always equally gives me the chills and makes me want to weep. This is a really moving scene. Like, as far as just filmmaking goes, it's a great prep for battle. And it just makes me like a little teary eyed. I love Seamus there. Yeah, Minerva is so good in this scene. Pierre Totem Locomotor. This music is great. That is so cute. I love that line. And when they're setting up, yeah, even this scene when they're setting up the shield. In the books, there is not a single likable Slytherin character, right? Like, is there any good Slytherin character? No Slytherin stays to fight. A few Ravenclaws stay back. All of Hufflepuff stays, which I. That's why I'm wearing this, guys. All of Hufflepuff stays, you know. Darn right. All of Gryffindor stays. Slughorn. Yeah, Slughorn is the only one. Andromeda. Slughorn is the closest, yeah. No students. Yeah, I agree, Justin. It would have been fun to have one good Slytherin in the books. Like one person who's like righteous and stays back to fight with the rest of the crew. Like give me one redemption arc for a Slytherin character. Or just one good like first year who's like, I'm gonna stay back and fight with them. That would have been so cool. Give me a first year who's doing that. Oh man. I need to rewrite this to put a first year that does that. Sacrifices his life because he believes in Harry Potter. Hmm. The suits of armor defending the castle is one of the coolest ideas to me. I remember when I read that, I thought that was the coolest scene ever. Also, a slight hot take. I think the best actor in the series, I think, is Emma Thompson. But I think a close to top best actress best actor in general is this woman right here. I always forget her name, but she was in um There Will Be Blood, or no, she was in No Country for Old Men. I think she was in Nanny McPhee or something like that. And she is great as the Gray Lady. I love this acting by her right here. What's her name? John fan fiction coming soon. I know. I'm gonna start writing fan fiction for this. It'll be fun. I like to think Flint came back to fight for the good guys. I like that. I like that. Yeah, Malfoy has that, but it's deleted scene. It's not book worthy either. Ryan agreed. She is kind of a babe. Kelly McDonald. She's great. She's also a babe. She's already. She's also married. Oh, she's been married for 15 years. Good for her. Oh no, she just got divorced in 2007. Bummer. Oh, she was Merida in Brave. That's interesting. Charlie plus OC fanfic. Yes, please find that and send it to us. That sounds wonderful. So I have a chance. I don't even know those two words that you just said, Lana. Lana or Lana? Lana or Lana? I think it's Lana. Lana banana. Or is it Lana banana? I've never seen either of those. It's so creepy, but it's so like cool. I love that. She gets just like furious there. She's a babe when she's angry. Baby, calm down. Lane, banane. Oh, you guys make me laugh. I love her in this scene. The music here, guys, the music in this movie, I think, is the best music. Her hair. Mm. You remind me of a bit of him. Ooh, a little secretive woman right here. Just them two alone. I love Kingsley's confidence in the movies right there. Wild in the streets. Remus. There's hot Remus right there. Oh man. Fred. Remus is my babe. No. Remember watching the background or the like the extra footage of that scene? Oh, they're burning the Quidditch pitch. Why do that? That annoys me. Also, it is this long walk to the Quidditch pitch. I remember they said they yeah, Ron can open the chamber, but in the chamber scene, they practiced that a bunch because they were so nervous. Like, I remember, I think I saw like the extras, and Hermione was like, her hand was shaking because she was so nervous about it. Ron making sure Hermione has never slept with Harry. That's so true. This is cool. How many people can you say have killed the Horcrux? Hermione's used something pretty rare here. Here we go. This is cute. Yeah, Ron is great in this scene. Ron is just great in this movie. Aww, great music here too. They needed the big moment for Ron and Hermione. They needed to like make that movie worthy. In the books, you already like understand it, but yeah, it doesn't really make any sense that any of that's happening. It's just a weird little scene. This is a scene that made me decide I could no longer support Rupert Grint. I remember seeing well, Daniel Radcliffe does he have a kid now? Or his kid is, maybe his girlfriend is pregnant or something like that. I remember Rupert Grint has a kid. I remember thinking, imagine what it must be like when he doesn't tell his kids that he played Ron in the movies and they start watching Harry Potter for the first time. Like Rupert Grint reads Harry Potter to the kids before they see any of the movies. And they're all like, oh man, like I can't wait to watch the movies, Dad. And they finally watch the movies, and Rupert Grint just sits back on the couch. Yeah, kids, I was Ron. How cool would that be? It's how many snatchers are here is a little insane to me. And then Neville does murder maybe 1,000 people here. I love the bridge. I love the wonkiness of that bridge. It hurts me that they blew it up. I also love this scene when he barely makes it. You think Neville's dead? You think this is the end? Oh no. He just tosses his wand up. Yes, I love that. It's great. Yeah, self defense. He killed them all out of self defense, but still, he killed a lot of people right there. Parcel tongue's like it's like a lost language. It's like ancient Egyptian or like Atlantean or something like that, you know? Nice, good work. It also bothers me that the suits of armor don't really do anything. Like they do something. They get one of the giants. Uh Flitwick just running away. But like they don't do a great amount here. They do lots. Where his kids go. That's not what Ron looks like. He's a bad Ron, and Rupert never tells him. He just cries silently in the corner. Oh, I want to tell her I love her. The Neville like overconfidence is a little bit much for me in the movies. But I love the line that he says he wants to go tell Luna he loves her. I'm a fan of that. A fan of that change in the movies. Yeah, it's an awkward kiss right there. Yeah, the scene with Lupin and Kingsley is really cool. Completely agree. No, that's not canon. They don't end up together, unfortunately. Neville marries someone else. Luna marries someone else. No, I don't think Neville ends up with Hannah. Does he? Who does Neville marry? Oh, he does. No way. He marries Hannah Abbott? I completely forgot about that. Who am I thinking Luna married? Who does Rolf Scamander? Oh, I forgot about that. She marries Rolf Scamander. What a great, the grandson of the Fantastic Beast, Newt Scamander. That, I forgot about that. That's so cool. I kind of like the Hannah Abbott thing. Hannah Abbott is cute in the movies. She's not like in the books a ton, but I don't mind that. But I also kind of like Neville and Luna together. Danny is gonna freak out when we come to this part in the books. He's gonna be like, I knew it all along. I knew it. He has been on this stupid diadem for so long. He like actually caught that. Maybe this is just maybe this is just like rumors, but I heard that they didn't include Crab in this movie because he got convicted of drugs or smoking marijuana when marijuana was illegal or something like that. So they couldn't include him in this movie. Yeah, Draco in the suit. Like when they gave Harry like the tweed suits, I'm like, that's not a good look. When they let Draco just dress in black, all black suits, I'm like, that's a good move. I like that. Because he's a broken person, but he still, wants a little bit of like class to him, a little bit of uppityness. He was arrested for selling drugs. Why not become a wow? Is he serving time? Is he still serving time? That'd be crazy. Yeah, he was even more qualified to play. He was method acting. That's all he was doing. That should have been his plea. He said, I was really getting into character there. I was becoming Vincent Crabbe. Come on, Judge. Ron's facial expressions when he runs away screaming is great. This is also book worthy, but this really hurts me that the room of requirement essentially gets destroyed. It's such a cool bit of magic. And I really is sad. Yeah, Vincent Crabbe and Gregory Goyle. For real. Why? Wait, what are you selling drugs for? I guess he's probably not making millions from the series because he's in it. And he probably has 1 or 2 days where he goes into film. I'm sure that's it because he's not really in the films that much. Maybe when he was a kid, but still, you're in like Harry Potter. Maybe he's probably making some money. But it's like the NBA kind of thing. Like whoa, I never noticed that there was a panther there. Did anybody else catch that? I always just thought it was a snake, but there was like a cat that was running toward them in the fire. Or as the fire. That's like very reminiscent of Lord of the Rings right there with the horses that come from the water that are guarding Rivendell. Yeah, fanfics that the room heals itself is really nice. I like that. Blaze Zabini is a hot tamale, 100%. He's a good-looking dude. Yeah, I was still way overpaid, though. Agreed. So the store, imagine a student tries to go back to the room of requirement and tries to store something in it. And he opens the door and it's just a fire pours out of it and ends up destroying the castle. Whoops. Okay, this was a change that I actually liked, and I actually kind of wish they did this in the books too, was that they actually had another fang that they actually stabbed before they kicked it into this thing. Because I think in the books, just this fire itself kills the Horcrux. And I was always like, oh, that's another thing. They're like adding other things onto it that could have killed it. So Harry and Ron could have done something, or Harry and Hermione and Ron could have done something different. It's just the fire, yeah. Why would Michael Vick run a dog fighting ring? That's great. That's a great question. Celebrities don't make sense to me. I do like that he just kills Pious Thickness here. For just saying, my lord. It just slaughters him right there. That's brutal. Give me the room where Ginny says, I can hide up here too if you'd like. That's the room I need. Chadcliffe. I'm forever going to call him Chadcliffe now. Fiendfire. Thanks for reminding me of that. Fiendfire is an interesting thing. It's like uncontrollable. They did a good job of portraying that. What do you guys think of the change between the boathouse and then the Shrieking Shack? The change of locations for these two. I know the symbolicness of the Shrieking Shack is a little bit more there and present. The boathouse really means nothing. But I actually kind of like that it's in the boathouse. Doesn't matter. Prefer the shack. I feel like there's more poetry in the shack, but there's also a little bit of poetry in the row house and the boathouse. I like that he just slaps him there. These are great lines. And the camera just like this, the camera in this movie just always goes like this. There's so many shots that it just is like tilting. It's so great. Yeah, the boathouse makes more sense with the layout. It was always annoying because like I remember in the third one it took them so long to get to the man, the castle is really being demolished here. This crushes me. They're all magic, so like to me I'm like they can, fix this really quick. But I always hate in movies when they just destroy things like this. These beautiful works of art and they just destroy them. Great music here too when they're running. And then we see Lavender die. That's actually a really touching scene. Oliver Wood? No way. Did I miss that? Well, we know she actually died in the movies. Okay, everyone, hold on. Sorry. I want to rewind this. Everyone stop. I got to stop the timer. Okay. On the broom. Okay, we're at minute 105:37. So I gotta wait a minute to restart this. Oh, guys, that's so cool. To me, that's like his Quidditch team too. Oh my gosh, that's such a little beautiful tidbit. That makes me so happy. I love Oliver Wood. Oliver Wood was one of the first characters I really like understood in the books. I love him so much. That's so cool. Thank you for letting us rewind that. All right, I'm going to start the timer back up when we hit 106:38 again. We're at 106:30. Aw, Lavender. That's sad. All right, starting the timer again. Right on time. Yeah, that would 100% go unnoticed without the subtitles. I'm glad that we have. I love having subtitles on now because I can barely hear anything anymore in movies. But I love that that was Oliver. That makes me so happy. Oliver heard they burned on the Quidditch pitch. To be honest, that's probably true. It's probably absolutely true. Going after the Giants for taking down the goalposts. This scene was tough. Tough in like a good way. It was just sad. Just getting revenge on the Giants. He didn't care about the Voldemort thing. He just sensed it. He was off in England, or I think he plays for Puddlemere United. He was off in Puddlemere, wherever that is. And he was just like, the Hogwarts goalpost just went down. I feel it. And he flew back and saw the battle happening and said the Giants did it. I would love an Oliver Wood spinoff. His story was always really intriguing to me whenever he goes and plays for Puddlemere United. I think it was Puddlemere United. Yeah, short of that. Yeah, I'll make a short. Actually, yeah, maybe I'll make a short of that after I watch this. You guys can watch me make a short. After we watch the movie, I'll make one live and then post it on YouTube. YouTube. When this happens, Danny, I feel like is gonna know because he even has mentioned very explicitly. I was like, I think I asked them, do you think that Snape owns Dumbledore's wand? I think we were just talking about wand lore, and Danny was like, oh well, no, because Draco was the one that disarmed him, and I was like, dang, Danny's gonna catch that. I think Danny's gonna catch two big things, and I think Jen's gonna catch the fact that Harry's a Horcrux, which is so cool. Like he really nails that. And it's intense to me that he seems to use Sectum Sempra on him. It's not because it was a verbal spell, or is a non-verbal spell, and Sectum Sempra is a verbal spell. Okay, there's one little change that happens here that I actually really like. It spells it out more for the author, or for the reader, sorry. But when he says you have your mother's eyes at the end of his thing and then he dies, rather than he just says, Harry, look at me, so that we know that he can look into his eyes. Because Snape's less ambiguous in the movie, so I think that works. In the books, his line is perfect because you still don't know who he is. So him saying that would ruin the next chapter. Oliver tried to recruit Harry to his Quidditch team and was completely uninterested to hear Harry was an Auror and treated that like a very minor obstacle. That's a great fanfic. That is 100% what Oliver would do too. Honestly, the Gryffindor Quidditch team, if they started a pro team, I feel like they'd be pretty good. They had a great lineup. You have your mother's brown eyes and fake glasses. uh I think Rickman just delivers that line really well. I just really like it. You have your mother's eyes. And then he passes away. The one thing I wanted more than anything else in this movie, though, was when he has the letter that says, with love, Lily. Oh, I would have loved that. Okay, guys, the first time I watched this movie, I had to pee so bad. And this was the scene I decided to run and pee at. And I remember I drank like a whole thing of like Coke or something like that. And I ran to the bathroom, peed as fast as I've ever peed in my life, and ran back into the theater. And I remember I got back. I'll show you where I got back. But it was like probably like a 30-second thing. But I got back and I watched it with my parents. I went with my parents. It was like, I forgot how old I was. Sometime in high school or college, maybe like my freshman year of college or something like that. When did this movie come out? I know, wrong time. Agreed. But I knew what happened in the books. I had read the books already, so I was like, I kind of know what's gonna happen already. But I remember not seeing this. But I came back literally as soon as this was done, 2011. So I was a sophomore in college at that time. I think it was like over the summer. I probably went home and just watched it with my parents. I came back. I'll show you when. I remember walking back into the theater, running back into the theater. And it was this next scene right here. Right here, when they started opening the door. And I remember going to my parents being like, what did I miss? What did I miss? You were a freshman? Freshman in college? Freshman in high school? That's the question. I'd like to see Harry and Crumb face off. That would be a good matchup, to be honest. Crumb did say Harry was a good flyer. What's up, Wes? College. You were 11 or 12. Wow, a young gun, Matthew. Was that Pavardi? We're all old. June, we're all old. You're younger than me. I'm 32. If you were a freshman in college out there, you were a year younger or 2 years younger. Maybe I was a junior. Oh, that's devastating. Percy's there. Yeah, Percy's there too. Percy's story after this is so intriguing for me. Oh, the arms reached out is. Oh, they're still not able to like hold hands or touch each other. There was always distance between them. There's great framing in this movie. Man, Lupin doesn't look like a. I think Lupin still looks like a babe in that scene, to be honest. I think that's his babeliest. He could have been expelled. Before one of you come up with another idea that gets us killed, or worse, expelled. She really needs to set out her priorities. Sort out her priorities. Babe eternal. Even in death, he's a babe. Yeah, we're all like 30s watching this stream. Some older, a few older, a few younger. This is our generation, guys. These were just the best. These movies, I love these movies so much. Books are obviously way better, but yeah, come on. None of us are old guys. We're all 30s. 30s are like the prime of life, right? Ugh. Freak. They didn't include enough of the memories. Although they did do a good job. Like they didn't include a lot of stuff. But they did a decent job with the Prince's Tale here. My dad's old serving plate is not what I imagine the pensive to look like. What? How old was Lupin when he died here? Yeah, to do a whole podcast on this series. Yep, darn right. But I feel like books like this only come around once every like 50 or so years. Like a massive bestseller like this doesn't come around that often. We were just really lucky to get this during our age when they were coming up. Like the last one that probably did this was Chronicles of Narnia. That was like this massive appeal. There's been other series that have come and go, but nothing that's been to this magnitude. A little serious there. Oh, no way. You're dating your now husband when this film came out? I love that. Aw. That's really cute. I like my Lupin like I like my coffee, full of life and maybe less milky white. Lupin, yeah, 37, 36. Yeah. Oh, you guys saw it together. I love that. Was this the first time you guys held hands? You just needed a little extra comfort, so you just reached out and held his hand right there. That's when sparks flew. Nope. You're already holding hands before that. Mm, so sad. Lupin was born March 10th, 1960. Wow. Hmm. Same year as your mom. It's 4 years younger than my mom and my dad. My parents were born in 56. Snape's potion making is so advanced here. Like you tell me how many other potions masters are making something that can contain the curse of a Horcrux. That has to be a Snape speciality, which is why I think Snape is a top 3 wizard of all time in my opinion. Don't love him. I think he's a really compelling character. I think his skill is so underrated. Oh yeah, not the curse of a Horcrux. That's true. But still, he's putting a curse on a Horcrux. Voldemort is doing that himself. That's still pretty insane and still pretty powerful. Also, these lines are delivered really good. The oil in his car. There's so many shots that are like crooked and they just straighten out in this movie. Everything is off. Gambon doesn't do bad here, guys. Gambon does not do terrible in this sequence. Snape's grief here, though, is great. It's great music here. It's great acting, good line deliveries. Mm, always. Mm. I know it was a bummer this movie was so short because they could have added a few other things on that were really great, like added memories here, added conversation in King's Cross because the King's Cross conversation is so short. Ooh, Ryan, you are in the minority there. At least for me, I think he does okay here, but I don't think he's good at all. And you've heard my opinions on that. We don't have to belabor that. After all this time, obviously. Imagine if they had that line in there. That'd be great. Someone should make a cut with that. After all this time, obviously. I don't like how they didn't have Snape extract the memories of the wand. It confuses a lot of movie watchers. Although in the books, I remember it describing it how like the substance was like pouring out of every like hole in his body, which sounds a little weird, but I remember the description of that. So I don't mind that too much. To me, Book Dumbledore is a lighthearted goof until he has to focus. And J.K. always talks about the electric charge he gives off. I think Gambon captures that half of Dumbledore very well. Very much disagree. Yeah, I disagree a little bit with that. I just don't think he has a ton of like power. I think to me, he doesn't display the happiness very well and the lightheartedness and just like the wonder of magic. So the serious scenes don't play with the sharp contrast. There needs to be the sharp contrast between the two because you're exactly right. In the books, when he's serious and he has like a command of the room. When he's lighthearted, he's like fun and like even though everyone's like still scared of him because they know he's like intense, he just has a lightheartedness to him that I really love. Yeah, they didn't do the King's Cross. That I still think that needs to be longer. I still think they need to add a few other things onto it. Yeah, they didn't build it up, and they're like the reason that conversation is so short because all the movies flub on it. But this is the one scene that I actually don't like. That Harry really he's like says goodbye to them. In the books, the most devastating part was that he looks over and sees everyone sitting there, and he can't go back or he can't look back again because how could he do what he needed to do? I think he says that. I think that's the line with Ginny, right? When he sees Ginny, or is it when he sees Ron and Hermione? I forgot. I think it's Ron and Hermione. Jen and Danny haven't figured out the word yet. Not fully, but I think Jen knows. And I think Jen made a joke in the last podcast about it. It's when he sees Ginny. Interesting. I think Jen's pretty much figured it out. Someone gave her a cutting board with the Deathly Hallows mark and always under it for her wedding. And I was like, these people, come on, you're killing me. Because everyone knows they're into Harry Potter now. And they're like, a few of their friends know it. That they're doing a podcast, but not everyone does. But someone literally gave them a cutting board with always on it. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. Oh no, you have an edit of Snape saying obviously instead of always on your channel. You gotta throw that in the Discord if you can. I want to watch that after this. He wasn't all that lighthearted after Pettigrew leaves. So book 3. Interesting. It should be a book reader Sherpa helping them out. That'd be great. But we'd be so annoying. What do you think about that? That he's actually not able to touch his mother. Like she's not actually back, but in the books she's actually back. Hmm. Yeah, most of them think that he came back because of the resurrection stone for sure. The whole having Snape tell Voldemort the prophecy not being in the movies is infuriating. It makes no sense in the movies. Mm-hmm. Mm. I always like this line. We're here, you see. It's nothing like the books, obviously, but it's not bad. The one tough thing is that this is the culmination of the entire series in the books. This is it. And even though the scene is decent in the movies, it just doesn't hit. That's great too. And she says always. It just doesn't hit that much because the books is just perfect. Harry's mom is a babe. Ryan, you just think every female lead is a babe in this movie. Tonks didn't get the invite. Oh man, that's my Tonks right there. That's a bummer. I think Narcissa does great in this scene. It was very, very similar to the books to me. Okay, guys. Jen watched a remake of this scene because someone sent her a this video, and it was like a funny one because it was like remakes of their faces. Like it was someone put one of the TikTok filters on the scene, and so she watched this up until when he says Avada Kedavra. So I was watching this like in horror because Jen sent it to me, and I was like, everything's spoiled. The podcast is done. But the scene cuts here, right when he says "come to die," and I was like, okay, phew. Oh my gosh. I know. I need to. I'm gonna like start hunting these people down who are sending this stuff to them. And Jen says she didn't really watch the whole thing too, because some of our friends don't know how far they are into it. They're not like updated with the podcast, so they really think that they've finished the series, or not even necessarily finished, but they think they're like super into it. So, and some of them are just like oblivious. They know where they are at exactly because they're listening to the podcast, and they still just send them stuff because they get Harry Potter stuff and they get excited, so they just want to send it to them. I'm like, guys, come on, you're killing me here. I know Danny's cut off all Harry Potter contact with his friends. Harry's shoes here are really weird. He needs to step up his shoe game. That's so gross. That little baby thing is so gross. I know. I need to do the podcast quicker for sure. Covered in kimchi. I'm trying to do the podcast quicker, but it's hard to schedule some of these dates out. I'm trying to, guys. I promise. Harry, what are those? The prison shoe special. Your college boyfriend read two Harry Potter books before his roommate spoiled for him. That's oh my gosh, that would infuriate me. Oh, that I'd be so mad. That's ridiculous. Man, that'd be tough to get this whole series spoiled for you. A slight hot take. Maybe this isn't a crazy hot take. I don't love his change, and help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who deserve it. We can talk about that line after the movie, but that's a really interesting change of line there. Harry's going, is Snape my dad? Is Snape my dad? Harry's like, it's curious. Snape's my dad, isn't he? Of course it's happening inside your head, Harry. Oh, that's a great line. Everyone loves that line. Yeah, that change is in the last book as well. It's just a really interesting line to me. The which line, June? Of course, it's all happening in your head. That's a great one. I don't need your help, and Bellatrix is literally like fawning over him there. Narcissa gives an all-time performance at this one right here. This is such a good part in the books. Oh my gosh, I love this part in the book so much. Narcissa's really the hero here, everyone. And here he does his little nod. Narcissa is a babe. I'm surprised Ryan didn't say Narcissa was a babe. I was trying. Yeah, that is another weird part in the movies. I remember a few of my friends were confused about that when they saw the movies. The Neville speech obviously is different in the books, but I don't mind the Neville speech so much. It's like cute. And then he sees the glint of the sword there. I kind of think that's kind of cool too. Yeah. I feel like I'm getting to know all you guys. It's so fun. Wait. The actress who played Narcissa, don't tell me she's passed away. What did she die of? That's crushing. I didn't know that. Oh man. That's so sad. How did she die? Oh, she died of breast cancer. Are you kidding me? That's so sad. Oh man. That stinks. I hate cancer. Also, I don't mind that line too. For now on, you put your faith in me. Yeah, the Voldemort hug. It's so creepy. I know so many of these actors are gone. It's so sad. Confidence of Bellatrix here is just wild. Nuts to think that Voldy here, Hogwarts used to be the only place he would call home, but now he's okay with destroying it. The hug is awkward, but it's like awkward for the right reasons. The Ginny dialogue is awkward for the wrong reasons. This is like exactly how Voldemort would hug someone because he doesn't know how to hug someone. Oliver was in the back. I missed it again. Yeah, we got to look at all the background characters here. I don't hate that they just walk off. That seems very akin to the books. Or that seems very akin to what they would do in the books. It isn't what they did. They stayed, but... Dang, the hug was improvised? That's so cool. No, Crystal, I haven't seen the 20-year reunion. We're gonna watch that after, not after tonight, but sometime this week. I'm gonna rewatch that, or not rewatch that. Watch that for the first time. I can't wait to watch that for the first time. It's gonna be John and the first time watchers. Again, guys, I don't mind this Neville speech, and that's a little controversial. At the end, when he draws the sword out, this is all that I think. I'll tell you what I think about in a second. This is crushing because you think about all those characters. But you will. This is powerful, guys. I just kind of like this. When he pulls the sword out, all I think about is Aragorn saying, "I bid you stand, men of the West," at the final battle. A little crossover there. Yeah, guys, the speeches aren't as good. The Lord of the Rings speeches are literally some of the best written speeches I've ever read in my life. As far as the movie is concerned, too, how they oh, poor Neville. How they treated some of that stuff is just exceptional in Lord of the Rings. How they converted the book speeches to the movie speeches. They're some of the most powerful speeches. My favorite is Theoden when he's riding with the Riders of Rohan into the Battle of Minas Tirith. That is one of the greatest speeches of all time. Like, legitimately, that speech is unrivaled. Yeah, this is enough. This fight scene is weird. The one babe to rule them all. Yeah, I watch that speech for fun times too. Like, I'll probably watch that like once a month. I didn't mind the Malfoys fleeing, and it's different from the books. Obviously, the Malfoys just stick around and they're like awkwardly there at the end of the fight. But I feel like that's kind of true to what I feel like that's another route that the characters could have taken, that Joe could have taken, that they literally were seen fleeing the scene. I feel like that's very true to their characters. Wow, hold on, Jables. I didn't know that that was actually a fan theory. To me, that was like actually the theory. Because how else would it have worked? I thought that Harry cast the love charm, and that's why they couldn't harm anyone. It was like a double love charm. Someone cast a love charm for Harry so he couldn't die, and then Harry then cast a love charm for everyone in the school that he loves. I roll pretty deep. Yeah, we got a lot of fan theories rolling around in there. I make that mistake all the time. Oh my gosh, Ryan, you barely remember anything about Lord of the Rings. I cannot wait till we watch that, guys. I am so freaking excited. I might start next week, honestly, because those are just works of art. The greatest movies ever made, and I will not be answering any questions about that. Actually, I would love to answer questions about that. I don't like this scene when he takes the robes and just like, this is just weird. They don't need this. Just give me more wand magic. I don't. Maybe they fled the battle a little bit, but I think the books have them literally awkwardly sitting there at the very end of the battle. Yeah, this movie club is like so much fun for me right now. I love this. This is the only scene in the books that my brother cried at. I think they did it pretty well in the movies too. Yeah, the fight scene between Voldemort and Harry is awful. Like, it doesn't even look cool. Like, it doesn't even look like the Order fight scene. Like, there's no real fight scene in the books because we all know what happens. But there's, like, if you're going to make a cool scene, they could have made it so much cooler. Like, show how capable Voldemort is with magic and how Harry, like, barely hangs on or something like that, you know? Although there's one thing that I don't mind so much in it, and I'll show you in a second. This is the only part of the fight that I don't mind. The grabbining. You wish Neville killed Bellatrix? Ooh. I want to talk about that one. That's actually an interesting idea. This one part I don't mind. When their heads mesh together. It's so weird. But to me, it's like signifying for the movie watchers that Harry is a Horcrux and he's being separated here. He's no longer a Horcrux. It's weird, but I don't mind it that much. But everything else I just don't like in this whole scene. Maybe it's not a hot take. Oh, no, the Neville thing? Neville killed Bellatrix. I... The one reason why I really like that Neville didn't is for the sake of revenge. That Neville is a pure character and he's not seeking for revenge. I hate that line in the movies where Neville goes to Bellatrix, or Bellatrix says, "How are mom and dad?" And Neville says, "Better now that they're about to be avenged." I don't like that line at all because revenge is like a cancer. Like, revenge can destroy you. Like, that's like the Count of Monte Cristo. The Count of Monte Cristo, the movie is all about revenge. That's why it feels so good. Like, movie revenge is some of the most fun stuff to watch because it just feels great. But it eats you alive. And then the book, It's more about justice, and it's frustrating to read the Count of Monte Cristo book because it's nothing like the movies. In the movies, it's like everything happens and you're so happy. But the idea of justice happening to a person rather than the person gets revenge is, I think, is just more powerful. And it doesn't leave Neville with this overbearing weight that he has to get revenge on Bellatrix. Jeez, guys, just kiss already. No need for clever descriptions anymore. I only know because I read the scene last week. I thought it was going to do my tamale talk and felt like I needed to reread so I could answer why I didn't like it on the first time read. Oh, no way. The director actually explains why he did the melting scene. I don't like the when he crumbles away into dust is really annoying because to me, this is like Thanos. This is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe right here. Thanos just snapped and Thanos just kept everyone else safe except for Voldemort because he just didn't like Voldemort. Okay, I'm excited to watch a reunion. I'm gonna watch it sometime this week. Yeah, I like that. I like that Molly does it. It's the mother bear instinct coming out rather than the revenge thing coming out. It's like Molly's doing it out of protection. Neville would have done it out of anger. And I don't love that as a Neville characteristic because he's not the most angry person. Because revenge doesn't fit Neville's character. Yeah. Movie is frustrating because Edmund realizes that revenge is not the answer in the books. Yeah, and that is more satisfying. Dustelmort. We have Dustledor and Dustelmort. And Dustel Quirrell, right? Quirrell kind of becomes dust. It would have been better if they just had his dead corpse just hanging out there. And everyone, like spat on it and peed on it. Maybe not that, but. Ooh, yeah, that probably would have been wild in 3D. The last page of the Count of Monte Cristo. I don't remember the last page too much. I remember the book was so frustrating because I had seen the movies first and was so frustrated that it wasn't a tale of revenge. It was a tale of justice. And that's such a big journey in the book. And in the book, like he doesn't get anything that he really wants. And I was like, no, it was so devastating. But at the end, you're like, it's a better told story. The guy is able to walk away. It reminds me maybe a little bit of the same feeling in La La Land when he winks or when they lock eyes at the very end and they just nod and they're able to both move on. There doesn't need to be any ill will or hatred toward each other. They were both part of each other's life, nodded and you're like, it's good. Yeah. Agreed. Okay, so the destroying the Elder Wand, it's not a bad change. I don't mind that so much, but the one thing that I need Harry to fix his wand, his own wand, before his wand that he destroys the Elder Wand. Yeah, June, I'm with you. If I were to Harry, I would have kept that wand in my back pocket, just in case. And oh man. That hurts. That does hurt to break it like that, though. And then Harry throws like a little child there. Eee! Throw. Yeah, Jable's 100% with you. Harry needs to fix his wand. If he breaks it, he needs to just fix his wand before he breaks the wand. Does Harry have a fixed wand in his back pocket? Everyone search Harry's person to see if his wand is actually there. Maybe that's like a little nod to the books. Maybe he fixed it before and no one saw it. Now what? I don't see a wand on Harry. Okay, Lana, but Google Umbridge's wand. And tell me that's not exactly what that is. I don't think there's a manly way to throw a stick. Yeah, there's definitely a manly way to throw a stick. I throw a stick to my dog in a manly way all the time. It's like more of like a sidearm motion. Ooh, you have the Elder Wand? That's the one wand I don't have a few wands, but I don't have the Elder Wand. So I don't want to depress anyone, but since we're mostly in our 30s, have we all fallen apart this hard? This scene is wild. Why did they all... okay, Harry's haircut makes sense, but they made Ginny look like, give her a better haircut. It's not like when you hit 30 years old, you just start having these old lady haircuts. I like that they gave Ron a pot belly, though. You have the Elder Wand. Good clarification, June. Thank you. Although, no judgment. Yeah, Ginny just looks old in this. Like, she needs to talk to her barber and fire her old one and get a new one. Hermione doesn't look bad. I love Ron's little pot belly and his little smiles. Ron's a proud dad. It's really cute. Oh, yeah, they didn't change Emma Watson at all. They just made Ginny look old with a bad haircut. Your hairline held a lot better than Ron's. My hairline's receding a little bit, but maybe not as bad as Ron's. Some guys do, some guys don't, you know. Hermione's a middle-aged babe. This is great. Albus Severus. Ew. Yeah, agreed. I feel like your hair starts looking better than it does in your teens. I feel like the teen years are never good for hair. Except now that I'm like early 30s, I feel like my hair is getting a little worse. But I just got to get better haircuts, maybe. Maybe I got to go for the middle part rather than the side part. I like Hermione's little there. That's cute. There's a lot of names they could have picked. Honestly, the fact that no one named their kid after Fred is a devastating fact. That's really frustrating. Or Remus. Why didn't they go for a Remus? There's a lot of things they could have named. A lot of names they could have did. Oh, that's right. George has a kid named Fred. But still, Ron should have named something in his family Fred, unless George has a kid before Ron. Who does George marry? Does he marry the Muggle girl from the village? Oh, whoa! Oh, he marries Angelina. Guys, I didn't know that. Dang, that's actually pretty cool. That's weird with the twin thing. Cause Fred in the that's really strange to me. It was Fred in Goblet of Fire who took her out, right? Yeah, Fred dated her. So in Angelina's mind, she's like, "Well, I can't get the outgoing, exciting one, so I'll just take the other twin, who's a little bit more, a little different, a little quieter." Teddy has Remus rights. It's cool, or that's right. Yeah, he should have married that Muggle girl in the village who thought his card tricks were real magic. Honestly, some of the Weasleys for their lack of for their blood traitorness, they need to start marrying some Muggles. I would have loved if George married that girl from the village. That would have been cute. Albus Severus WPTSPQ Potter. You were named after many people throughout my life, and they were cool. And so are you. All these really important people that died. You have 29 names, Harry. Your mom dated one of your dad's brothers before she dated him. That's so cool. She liked the overall vibe of the family, but not that sibling. That's so funny. Ooh, I linked the Snape obvious clip on the Discord live watch chat, by the way. I'm going to watch that right now. All right, I'm stopping our watch of Harry Potter. Now we're just going to be on YouTube. So if anybody just wants to watch some stuff on YouTube, I'm going to just peruse and watch around some of the stuff that was sent over. Hold on. I got to stop this timer. Stop, close. Um, everyone. I'm really excited for this.
Hey. After all this time. Obvious.
Why doesn't that have more views than 8 views? Come on, are you kidding me? That's brilliant. That's so good. Oh, I love that. That's a great um that's a great edit right there. I love that. I think the weirdest thing is that everyone marries someone from school. Yeah, it just doesn't happen in real life. No one from my high school, there's been I think one person who's married that their high school sweetheart. Actually two. Two people who married their high school sweethearts. I had a small class too, but like that's it. No one really marries their everyone doesn't marry everyone that they know from high school, you know? I love these movies, but it feels like he just came to Hogwarts for the first time. I feel so old. That was a great clip. Did you have a high school battle too? That's true. Very, very point. Maybe if you have a battle, then you're more apt to like fall in love with the people that you had a battle with. But I did, yeah, I didn't have a high school battle. Trauma bonding. That's very true. My small town had like 10 high school couples. Yeah, there were a lot of high school couples. Everyone has like a high school girlfriend. I still see one of my old high school girlfriends. She's actually in the book club that Jen, Danny, and Kristen were in. And we're good. We're like good friends. We're cordial with each other. She's really cool. I went to a small school. A lot of people in my class married people from the school. Dang. Wizarding population is much smaller though than Hogwarts is the only school in Britain. Agreed, but I still think they should marry some I still think they should marry some muggles. Come on. Like Ryan's over here all by herself and Hermione. She could have dumped Ron and gone for Ryan over here, us muggles. And then Remus didn't have to marry Tonks, even though I love that. She could have married June. Like we should have been involved in this. Come on, guys. Imagine if they changed that. It's like 5 people that I kept in touch with from high school. Yeah, I don't keep in touch with a lot of high school friends. Danny was one of those that like I didn't keep in touch with him a ton from college onward, and then we kind of just reconnected a little bit. But he was one of my best friends in lower school, middle school, and high school. Tronding. You don't have the most trauma bonding. It's just called tronding now. Put that in the Urban Dictionary. No, none of my friends married their high school sweethearts. Yeah. It's not the most common thing around me. Hermione could have married Victor Crumb. She literally had the LeBron James of the sports world and the wizarding world. And she dumped him for Ron, who according to, which is not canon, according to Cursed Child, he became a clerk in his brother's stores, which is a little wild. You don't talk to a single person from high school, but college, almost everyone. I'm a little bit different. I have a few friends who are, I'm back in the town that I went to high school in, so maybe that's why. And my college was out in Philly, so I keep in touch with a few people from college, but no one like really, really crazy. They're more like a relationship, same community. To be fair, probably shouldn't have married my high school. I probably should have married my high school girl, but live and learn. Tell us a story. Let's treat this like a therapy session now. Give us the deets. What's going on? I don't like Cursed Child, but I like the idea of Ron working at the store. I like that too, but not as a clerk. Maybe as like a co-owner of the store, you know? Ron's a good wizard. He's like a loyal wizard. He should have more. Maybe he's not like crazy creative. He is a good number 2 though. He did fight a war. He should just be Harry's number 2 guy. Like the golden trio should just stick together and all be auras together, and no one's going to take them apart. Like literally they're like together. They are perfect. They're so good. One of my favorite fan theories of all time, and Joe said this is one of her favorites too, is that the Dumbledore's death one, where if we're talking about the Deathly Hallows, Harry represents the Harry represents the invisibility cloak of the Peverils. Dumbledore or Snape represents the Resurrection Stone, and Voldemort represents the Death Stick. And Dumbledore kills all of them. He weaves the narrative and kills all of them, but Harry. And at King's Cross, they greet each other like old friends. It's like pouring by me right now. Just keep hearing rain smattering my windows and my roof. And Wes is over there trying to sleep too, but he can't. They have more experience than some adult wizards. I would say that Harry has more experience than every adult wizard in the wizarding world right now. He has an undefeated record against Voldemort. Has battled him, what, like 6 or 7 times? Yeah, it's true. Ron went to help George. That's true. Let him grieve with his brother. Okay, I like that. I'm good at that. Ooh, Ryan. She was just the typical one that got away. We dated all through high school. So when I was 19 or so, I guess I wanted to see what else was out there. Turns out not that much. Live and learn. That's a bummer. Is she married right now? Can you not like slide in her DMs? It is crazy how it's so hard to make friends when you're like post 30. Like all my friends are like either my high school friends or like their spouses that they married a few years later. Um, Harry only knows 5 spells. That's true. He's not a very good. That was always an interesting thing for me too. He has a lot of experience, but he doesn't know a lot of spell work. Like he seems very immature with how he knows spells. Married still with a kid. Bummer. You can't. Yeah. I'm with you. Don't be that guy. I know life just takes over. It's so hard to make friends when you're past 30. That's a tough one. Um, but old high school flames, old high school loves. Man, that hurts. Yeah, making new friends at work. Um, I just pulled up Reddit. I got this little post. We can talk about this. This is on r/Harry Potter. We were literally talking about this. Who has the best ending? They only say it Ron's and or Harry. I always thought Harry should go play Quidditch for a few years. I would have loved to see if he was like part of the English Quidditch team and to see how far they could have gone. Yeah, if you want to make friends in your 30s, pick up an activity, but it's tough. I have activities that I do. It's still hard to make friends. That's why I make podcasts and I force my friends to be part of podcasts so I become better friends with them. Like, hey guys, it'd be really fun to do a podcast together. We should, do this thing. But there's a weird thing. Is the camera fuzzy? Why is the camera fuzzy? There we go. I think that's better. Maybe. I prefer to make friends in group chats these days. Prefer to make friends on Discord. Bumble, not a good place to make friends. Yeah, take your existing friends and upgrading them. Like I was always kind of close with. I was like Jen was probably the closest one I was with when we started the podcast because we like knew each other. We were like in some same like groups and stuff like that. But it's been so fun getting to know all like Danny a lot better now and Kristen the same. So we're all pretty good friends now. Text each other all the time. I'm excited for when we like finish the actual recordings of the podcast to see like we're still just gonna hang out and chat and it's gonna be fun. We're still gonna do some parts of the podcast, but it's just like I made new friends doing a podcast, guys. I recommend it. Just drag some friends into a podcast. Just like put a phone in the middle of the room and say, let's record something, and just make it so that you just want to become better friends with them, but you're saying it under the guise of you want to do a podcast with them. Convince your friends to be better friends with you. That's so cool. Yeah, Danny was my childhood friend, but we had kind of like lost touch for a few years. So probably like 10 years we didn't really talk too much from like 22 to 32. And then we're like good friends now again. I know. I'm so excited for when they're actually on the Discord. I can't wait to like watch all the movies with them and having them do like live chats with everyone asking questions and all that kind of stuff. To me, that will be so fun. I cannot wait. All your best friends are from university. Yeah, seriously. It is really fun. Like the Discord has been really fun because you do realize like I'm actually excited when we're done with the podcast. Like that's why like if any of you guys come around, like we're all in different parts of the world, but if any of you are around, I feel like I'm making friends here, which is really nice. If any of you guys are around New York City at any time, just send me a message in Discord and I will come on the drop of a dime and go have a pint with you or something like that. We'll go have a butterbeer in the city somewhere. That'd be great. We're gonna watch the anniversary, but I am gonna start another channel and we're just gonna watch other movies. I don't know what I'm gonna call that yet. I think I'm just gonna call it Obsession. That's gonna be like the main company that I make. It's Obsession Media. So I'm just gonna call it Obsession, and then make it about all things Obsession. And we're just gonna do a lot of live movie watches. I'll throw that out in the Discord whenever I actually do it for what that channel is gonna be. If anybody just wants to join, I'm sure it's not gonna be like too crazy popular, but yeah, you guys just gotta apparate to me. Ryan is babe crazy. I can tell them all about the various babes in the various movies. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Hearing people's voices in voice chats. We got to start like implementing that more. I feel like when the Discord grows, I'm excited for when the Discord grows that like there's hopefully like going to be a conversation that's always happening there and you could like literally just jump in and get to know people there. Emma Watson is a super babe in the 20-year reunion. Hey, Ryan, I don't think Emma Watson's married or is dating anybody. Is Emma Watson? Oh, no, she does. Bummer. She got married earlier, middle of this year in June. She married her new boyfriend, businessman Ryan Walsh. Sorry, that ship has sailed. Says she's. That's what I just googled it. Says she just got married in June or August. Maybe, maybe, maybe that's just a gossip website. I don't know if that's actually true. Her boyfriends have always been very brainy. Emma Watson finally gets married to her new boyfriend, whose intelligence has highly impressed her. Oh no! Hold on. Hold on, guys. If this guy actually looks this old, no, I hope he's not like a 50-year-old man. I can't tell. The pictures that they have of him look awful here. Look at this. Look at this picture of this guy. He doesn't look appealing. She fell in love with him for his brain. Look at this other picture that they have of him. Ryan has competition. So you're telling me there's a chance. F that guy. Emma Watson's husband. Wait. This is all saying different people. Maybe there's just a lot of confusion. Because now everyone's talking about Leo Robinson. Who is Leo Robinson? Oh, they split. Okay, so they split. Emma Watson's mystery man revealed. Ooh, June 7th. Split from her boyfriend, Brandon Green. All right, if this is the guy, maybe he's not that bad looking. But this guy, this is a terrible picture. What is this? These are terrible pictures of this guy. The paparazzi did a terrible job. All right, I don't know if this guy is all the same guy. This guy looks different in every single picture. What are we doing here? All right, I have no idea. She does seem kind of high maintenance. I'm kind of with you on that. Last I heard, she was married to herself because she didn't want to be in a relationship. Interesting. What do you guys think of the? This is a I don't know how controversial this is, but what do you guys think of the Tonks and Lupin relationship? Man, I everyone knows everyone knows. I mean, Lupin is my favorite, but everyone knows I have a crush on Tonks. Yeah, the age difference. It's about 12 years, right? I think I have a slight issue with it because it seems like he was pressured into it. Also like older men. Okay, let's look it up. How old were Tonks and Lupin? Remus is 13 years older than Tonks. She's around 24 to 25. He was around 36 or 37. Like, it's not the age difference, I don't think is that crazy, but it's just the time that they got married in that is a little bothersome for me. Because I think Lupin really did love her. I think he kind of like probably had a crush on her for the whole order. But I feel like he got pressured into this. And I think I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird one to me. I when he is stating his case for why he doesn't want to get married, because I've dated someone that was younger than me too, and the case that he makes for not dating this person, I understand completely. There's at Tonks's age, and like I understand it, but it doesn't actually legitimize it that much, to be honest, because the same fears that I had were the same fears that like, or the same fears that Lupin had, or the same fears that I had, like dealing with whole people. Like when you're young, when I was like in my early 20s, I was like a whole person. You've like made some mistakes, but you haven't made that many mistakes. And the same thing, like you've like the actual scars that you have in your adult life. You don't like Lupin is dealing with his werewolf stuff, so that's really what he's talking about with being a whole person. But it's a lot of things that he's probably blaming himself on as well. So I understand his reasoning for saying some of that stuff. Lupin is like there's a purity of her, there's like a wholeness of her. I don't know. You don't think he was pressured? I don't really get that. I don't really get the draw for Tonks. Is it because he's so broken? I think Book Lupin is an attractive guy as well. Like um Jim Kay illustrated Lupin, and he illustrated him very, 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 very attractively. I'm gonna actually pull it up because that is a really attractive thing. Hold on. Great book. All right, I gotta find Lupin in this book because he's very attractive. I think she's falling in love with Lupin's mind. We had this. I mean, the discussion that we were having in Discord, was that in the members chat, or was that in like the entire chat? I think that was in the members one. When guys sometimes just open their mouth, they become less attractive. Like there are not super attractive men, or there are like ugly guys who, because their minds, they're more attractive. but there are some really attractive men who, when they open their mouth, they become less attractive to women. Which is, I mean, true for everyone. It's true of guys too. It's true of women. It's true of guys. I gotta find this. Maybe it was in the end. I remember seeing it and just being like, wow, that is actually kind of shocking. Guys, look at this. It's so attractive to me. This is like someone Taylor Swift would date. This is like Taylor Swift's boyfriend before she started dating Kelsey. Look at that man. Look how attractive he is. All like the professor's pose right there. No difference between the Patreon and the YouTube members, but I'm talking about the Discord. Because I just lump everyone together on Discord. So if you're not on the members chat in Discord and you are a member of either YouTube or Patreon, let me know ASAP. I feel like he was pressured. It was really uncool for all of them to confront him publicly for it. I am so with you. Like, he needed to make that decision on his own. I think for his and for Tonk's sake. I think especially for Tonk's sake. And I feel like he did, but he didn't at the same time. He was like too pressured onto it. I like the bits of tree you have holding up your bookshelf. Yeah. That's I went to home. I wanted to do that. I have two cousins who own a tree business, and I went to their yard one day. I was like, "Do you guys have like two trees that I can like make it look like my bookshelf? Like a tree is growing up my bookshelf, but it's holding it up." And they had a few things, but I wasn't able to get it, so I just went to Home Depot and got firewood. And this is like Christmas like Yule log stuff that you burn, and I just put my bookshelf up with it. Don't loop you in the love of broken men. You don't love broken men. Noted. They were on duty together all the time. Remember in Order of the Phoenix? That's true. They were on duty. They had like a lot of time to flirt and like talk. Their flirting must have been fun. He's wise for his age. Not a great heart and head on his shoulders, but he just has so much baggage. Not literally though. He couldn't afford baggage. I feel I want to save him. I guess Tonks is one too. Hot professor. His personality definitely gets me more than that picture. His personality is the best. But in his like wardrobe, he has professor suit. His personality is what I'm cruising on. Always fall for soft boys. You guys have read this the Giving Tree, right? I just pulled that off my bookshelf. Great book. And then I just bought this yesterday. The Lupine Lady. You guys ever read this one? This is a great one. Great little message behind it. I'll read that later maybe. I need this advice about 2 years ago. Lupin thinks he's not good enough for Tonks. People are convincing him to be in a relationship he wants to be in. Lupin was happier than ever when Teddy was born. I don't think he was pressured. I don't think so either. I think they gave him like a helpful push, but at the same point, I think he's happy to be married to her. Is he though? Because he gets in the whole fight. He almost wants to leave the marriage for adventure, which is a devastating part. And then that's coming up in chapter 12, right? Or chapter 11. That is an absolutely devastating part. Man, their relationship is interesting. I can't really explain why. I don't think the age gap is really that significant, to be honest. They're two consenting adults. The age gap doesn't matter that much. But the time that they were married in, I don't know. There's just something there that I haven't really put my finger on it yet. Dated quite a few girls who wanted to fix me, and it was an immediate turn off. Like, I'm not broke, and I don't plan on mending. I heard something the other day on TikTok that was like, some girl was like, I see all these girlfriends doing wardrobe remakes for their boyfriend, and they become instantly hotter. She's like, so the if I'm like on Hinge and I look up a guy, I don't care at all about his wardrobe, because she's like, I can fix that. I can make him hotter with his wardrobe. So I'm only curious about, or I'm only interested in personalities now. Like, that's so funny to me. Why do you think we like broken men? I like the idea of two broken people getting together. There's something in a relationship that like I have a litmus test for sometimes. If I go on a date, it's like how much like grace do you give another person? Like, I think everyone is broken to some extent. I think some people just hide it better than others. Like the whole idea of like being completely put together is a little insane. Like everyone is living life for the first time. Everyone's freaking out over certain things. Everyone's struggling through things, and to pretend like you're not doing that is a little tough for me sometimes. I don't love that idea. So like trying to get a gauge on how much grace someone's willing to give you, through like things that have happened in your past, and like through the things that you're like working through presently. Like, I don't want to stay stuck on some of those things, but like it's good to work past those and work through those and not be completely bound by them. But at the same time, people have trauma in their past that they're dealing with, and everyone has that. No one's alone in that. Some people hide it better than others. I'll get off my soapbox now. I think he felt guilty. Wait, hold on. I just missed a lot of chat. Dang, hold on. I feel like if someone wanted to fix me, then I'd feel the same way. We just like tortured souls. Tortured souls are great. I feel like he was trying to almost self-sabotage though. He was running, agreed. You know, you can link the Discord to the Patreon, right? I didn't even know that. What the heck am I doing? Okay. You guys need to like give me tutorials on all this. I've never like been a mod for any of this kind of stuff, so I'm learning all this stuff on the fly. I feel like I'm a somewhat fast learner for any of this, but because I work in media, I only think he married her because he felt pressured. Doesn't he even say that he never felt right about it? He says that in the next chapter, or not the next chapter, but after Creature's Tale. I think he felt guilty. He loved her but didn't want to ruin her life. I need to start reading the comments over there so I'm not like looking off the screen. I think it's realistic. A lot of people marry because of war, or they have, according to history. Yeah, that's true. I'm not saying he didn't want to marry her, but he should have gone at his own pace. I just think it was too soon for them to get married. Yeah, I think it was kind of too soon. Lupin was happy about it in the end. He was happy about it in the end, but it took him a little while to get there. I feel like it took a little while for the guilt to get off his shoulders. You know, June, me and you both. Me and you both. We're all broken a little bit. It doesn't exist. I like that too. We can help heal each other. Agreed. Yes. Young and whole men do not always remain so. Very wise of you to say that. Very wise of you to say that. I love that line. That is like actually a great line that Molly gives. Or does no does Mr. Weasley give that line? I think Mr. Weasley gives that line actually. I feel like if someone is portraying themselves to be completely put together with no issues, that's a huge red flag. I completely agree. Current girlfriend and I were pretty much done with relationships, but we both just got along so well. I love that. Sometimes that comes along when you're least expecting it. That kind of happened with my siblings too. They were like, I'm done for dating for a little while, and they like met their spouses like the next week. Sometimes two broken people could be agreed for sure. It depends on what kind of broken. Like that's what we're talking about here. You have to be compatible too. You have to be compatibly broken with another person, and it depends on where the person is in their broken state. And there's like levels, like okay, so if you guys ever do get into me and Abby talk about this a lot on ours on season 2, but the Enneagram stuff. So essentially what the Enneagram is it's nine people, like people types. I'm going to pull up my screen right now and I'm going to show you guys some of this stuff because this is actually really fascinating. The 9 types of Enneagram. Let's do a deep dive into this right now, guys, because I think this is actually really helpful. Maybe not for everyone, but okay. So there's 9 types. So this is like they say everyone falls into like one of these categories. You fall into either the reformer, the helper, the achiever. So the reformer, rational, idealistic, principled, purpose, self-controlled, perfectionist. Number 2 is the helper. This is Hagrid, the caring, interpersonal type. Hold on, let me actually maybe this will make more sense if I talk about Harry Potter people. Enneagram types for each Harry Potter character. Okay, Hermione Granger is a reformer. She's a 1. She's rationalistic, principled, purpose, self-controlled, perfectionistic. Hagrid is a 2. He's the caring, interpersonal type, demonstrative, generous, people-pleasing, and possessive. Very much Hagrid. An achiever is... Oh, it doesn't give me any achiever here. I'm going to look this up. Which Harry Potter character is a 3 on the... I'm gonna tell you why I think that this is important. Okay, so someone actually said type 1 is this is a different one. This is Screen Rant. Maybe we trust Screen Rant more. Type 1 is the is Percy Weasley, some people say. Type 2 is Hagrid. That's like very universal. And Molly Weasley. Type 3, the achiever, is Hermione. Pragmatic, adaptive, excelling, driven, image conscious. 4 is Luna Lovegood, the individualist, the sensitive, withdrawn type, expressive, dramatic, self-absorbed, and temperamental. 5 is Severus Snape. I am a 5, which is intense, cerebral, perceptive, innovative, secretive, and isolated. Type 6 is the loyalist, which is Neville and Ron Weasley. They're committed, security-oriented type, engaging, responsible, anxious, and suspicious. Type 7 are the enthusiasts, which are Fred and George Weasley. Busy, fun-loving type, spontaneous, versatile, distractible, and scatterable, or scattered. Type 8 are Harry and Voldemort, the challenger. Powerful, dominating type, self-confident, decisive, willful, and confrontational. And the 9 is a peacemaker, which is Albus Dumbledore, which is easygoing, self-effacing, receptive, reassuring, agreeable, and complacent. So like I'm going to look up the investigator because I'm a 5 right here. One of the cool things about the whole Enneagram things is this thing right here. This is a list of what it gives you at your healthy levels, at your average levels, and at your unhealthy levels. Everyone's broken on some scale of this in their life. At any point in someone's life, like at any point in my life, there have been certain moments where I've been an unhealthy 9, where I've gone down some of these roads. I've become a complete recluse and isolated from reality, eccentric and nihilistic, unstable and fearful of aggressions. They reject and repulse others and all social attachments. I went through a phase when I read Henry David Thoreau's Walden, which I abhor with everything in me because I think it's one of the most damaging books that you can read. I hate that book. I hate that book with everything in me because it drew me to a place of reclusive and isolatedness. And like even this idea, like a level 8 of unhealth, is getting obsessed or yet frightened by the threatening ideas, becoming horrified, delirious, and prey to gross distortions and phobias. Like this link right here, Yeah, let me actually like link this in the Discord. I'll link the descriptions and you can like kind of like look yourself up. Um, I'm just gonna link it in the chat, or no, I'm just gonna link it in the common room. Like, so again, with this 5, if you are currently one of the unhealthy levels, if you're level 7, 8, or 9, I think you should be careful about jumping into relationships. Sometimes I don't think you're at a point where you can, but everyone has been there at some point. Like I've been level 7, level 8, and level 9 of unhealthy 5s at some point in my life. Everyone has to some extent. I don't think I'm there now, but I've been there. And to ignore that is, I think, is wrong. Like I'm probably some average state right now. So I feel like you just got to watch yourself in relationships. And one cool thing about this whole thing too is like it shows you, if I'm like if I'm dating someone and they talk about like what Enneagram they are, I'll like look up the compatibilities with it, and it doesn't say like you should date this person if they're this number and you shouldn't. It just gives you what the strengths of that relationship would be and what some of the weaknesses and what some of the things that you have to talk about are. And it just is, I think it's super helpful. So, and there's one thing about the Enneagram. So I'm talking about the Enneagram, and it's not completely backed like the Myers-Briggs is. So someone just mentioned Myers-Briggs. Myers-Briggs is a little bit more psychologically based than this is, but this is still a really helpful thing, I think. Cookies, okay, sure, whatever. This is Enneagram Institute. I have a feeling I'm a 4. 4s are really dramatic, but I love 4s. Some of my best friends are 4s. Abby is a peacemaker. She's a 9. I get along really well with 4s for some reason. I'm an Enneagram 5 wing 4. Ryan, you're a 5. Love that. Welcome to the 5s. It's just fascinating to me, guys. Like if you take the quiz, I think you really have to, if you have a friend who knows the Enneagram really well, that's the better thing to let them tell you what Enneagram they think you are, because it's really hard to be so self-perceptive enough. Actually, I kind of take that back. When you're 30, I feel like you kind of know yourself a little bit more, and you can actually take this thing honestly and know what you are. But when I was 20, I feel like I was flirting between a few different numbers. And then when I finally took it and I got 5, overwhelmingly a 5, I went and talked to Abby and I was like, hey, Ab, because Abby knew the Enneagram like the back of her hand. And I was like, Abby, guess what Enneagram I got? And she like laughed at me. She's like, I could have told you what you are. She's like, you're a 5. She's like, you didn't even have to take the quiz. I could just tell you you're a 5. I think it's just a really helpful little tool to like help you understand yourself a little bit more. Wait, what's the book? I want to read it. What book? What book did I mention? Usually sitting comfy at a 7. My best writing, I get my best writing done as a recluse. So there's another thing. Where is this? Again, this is like, it's like very in depth. But okay, so this is it. So a 5, this little chart right here, this shows you when you are stressed, you are like a bad 7. So I'm a 5. Whenever I get really stressed, I act like a bad 7. Whenever I am really healthy, I act like a healthy 8. So like let's talk about if I'm healthy, I'm acting in the way that an 8 does. I'm acting confident, strong, assertive. I'm protective, resourceful, straight talking, and decisive. But you can also be egocentric and domineering for 8s. 8s feel like they must control their environment, especially people. So like in my goodness, I'm becoming like the best parts of Harry. I don't know. I sometimes I nerd out about this stuff a little bit. Maybe this is like too much, but I think it just helps you understand yourself a little bit more. And I love that. So, okay, June, we're talking about, yeah, I'm glad you're joking. That's like, I call that space racism. I think some of that stuff is a little crazy to me. But I'm doing this Enneagram stuff, and if you haven't known or read about any of this Enneagram stuff, I'm sure you think probably the same. I'm like, there was a really funny moment on, have any of you guys seen Love on the Spectrum? Michael goes on a date with someone, or he goes to a speed dating thing, and he doesn't like someone, and he has Asperger's, and he doesn't like someone, so he makes an excuse of asking what their astrological sign is, and they say something, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry that earth signs and water signs don't get along," or he's like, "Fire signs and water signs don't get along." So he's like, "I don't think we could do this," and he kind of just like ends the speed date that moment. It's so funny. Oh yeah, Walden. It's just a book called Walden by Henry David Thoreau. So Henry David Thoreau. Okay, I'm gonna link. This article changed my life. It's one of my favorite written pieces of all time. It's called Pond Scum, and this is one of my favorite writers of all time. She's writing for the New Yorker. Her name's Catherine Schulz. So I had like come out of a bad phase. They renamed it. I'm bummed they named it. They call it now The Moral Judgments of Henry David Thoreau. That's a boring name rather than it used to be called Pond Scum. Okay, so Walden, in this book, Walden, Henry David Thoreau is known to be he's not the father of transcendentalism, but he went and he hung out with Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he was one of the fathers of transcendentalism. And Henry David Thoreau's idea was he doesn't need anybody else to help him think. He can go out on his own and he can accomplish all that himself. Like he talks like the whole idea, and this is like a big thing in society. People go off into a cabin and they just live in a cabin and they think they're completely self-sufficient like that. And for a little while when I was in college, I wanted to do that. And I gladly have gotten off of that because I think it's really damaging and harmful. But the way I got off of that was by reading this. I'm going to link it on YouTube. This article from the New Yorker, because Catherine Schulz essentially like rips them apart and gives you like details that you don't typically hear of in the story. Like one of my favorite parts of this story is Henry David Thoreau told everyone, he's like, "Oh, you need to like go live alone in the woods," but he actually never did so himself. He lied about that. He was getting cookies from his mom that came every weekend to give him cookies. He was going on daily walks with Ralph Waldo Emerson because it was on Ralph Waldo Emerson's property. He was still getting community, but he was lying about the whole thing, saying you don't need community. And this just made me a huge believer in like the idea of community and having friends and people that you love around you to help you and walk through different tough things in life with you. Guys, I'm on a big soapbox tonight. Wow, I'm sorry. I just got to get off this thing. The whole idea that like you don't need other people is just a lie. I think Harry Potter dispels that really well. I think all these different stories dispel that idea that you can be isolated and you can work really well as an isolated person. But as a 5, one of your biggest things is that you go into isolation. So this is what I am. Let me go back to the other camera. I am a 5-wing 4, but I'm going into my 6-wing right now. So like they say you have a wing with each one, and when you're like early 20s, you really go to 1, and then in your like early 30s, you balance out and become kind of both of them. And I was originally an iconoclast, which I hated anything established. Like any establishment, I wanted to like demolish and like restart the whole thing from scratch. But now in my 30s, I love problem solving. That's like one of my favorite things. It's just like if I have a good problem, I'm able to just sit at something and like have the whole day to solve it. I love it. Anyway, astrology. This does seem a bit more grounded than astrology. Space racism. Spacism. Space Jam. That was a good show. That was a great movie. Space Jam is one of my all-time favorites. I love Space Jam. Thing with astrology people don't get is not only anoint your sun sign, but that's a whole different convo. I used to take the book of birthdays and open it up to a random page for people, and they were going to agree whether I would congratulate them on being in a completely different sign. I love that. Isolating in a cabin to me sounds great. I've always wanted to disappear for a month or two and produce an album. Bon Iver. Oh, Bon Iver. That guy's I love his music. There. I think you should do that. Like there's parts of me that want to do that all the time, like retreat and go, like, you know, like if you look at any of these people, all the examples, they all had times in their life where they retreated and they gave the world beautiful things. Like Stephen Hawking, Vincent van Gogh. I'm partially related to Vincent van Gogh, guys. That's one of my cool little things about myself. But he would go on his own and create this beautiful picture, beautiful painting. So like fives, you have to like be isolated in order for some of the brilliance to come out, but you can't just stay in that isolation. That's like one of the biggest things. So like Ryan, you should go into a cabin in the middle of the woods and create an incredible album and then come back out and share that album with the rest of the world. And, you know, don't just chill in the cabin for the rest of your life. Yeah, write for therapy. I don't really rely on people for that, even if maybe I should. Agreed. And there's different reasons for why people write. And I think it's good to like isolate and go work on things like yourself. But yeah, community. It's about community. It's about being with other people. I do look at the signs and the placement of the planets in the chart, but obviously I'm not going to end a relationship because their Venus sign is not compatible with mine. All right, what if I tell you guys what my birthday is and you try to peg me on something? My birthday is in April. It's April 8th. I think I'm an Aries. Maybe? I don't know. I know I don't actually cut off my ear. I know. I somewhat look like Vincent Van Gogh. So, I'm an Aries. What the heck is an Aries? What does that mean, Katie? I'm so offended now that you said, yeah, I am definitely an Aries. April 12th? I'm April 8th. No way. I love that. You can't stand Aries. Why? What are Aries? What is all about Aries? Astrology is so vague that it could apply to anyone. Show us your ears. I'm not directly descended from Vincent Van Gogh. He has very few actual descendants from his like brother. But his Vincent Van Gogh's great grandfather is where the line split for us. So I'm related to him, and I'm related to Piet Mondrian, the Dutch impressionist, the father of impressionism. There's a lot of art that goes in my family. My sister is an incredible painter. My dad is an incredible painter as well. Aries are fiery. What else about Aries? I don't know if maybe I'm a little fiery sometimes. Depends on the moon sign and the ascending planets. On the cusp of Taurus, Capricorn. Vincent Van Spock. All right, guys, why'd you date all these Aries and why can't you stand them? What the heck? Ooh, headstrong. Ouch. April 8th, 1991. Moon sign. You guys are going to analyze me now for all this. This is space racism. Space racism at its best. Spacism. Okay, here we go. My moon sign is an Aquarius. It was a waning crescent. Tell me everything about myself. Organs influenced by Aquarius moon signs are calf, ankle, shin, Achilles, forearm muscles, and thyroid hormones. What the heck does that mean? Gosh, what the heck is this? April 8, 1991. Astrology. I am ruled by Aries. The ram is a symbol for Aries. The life path number for everyone is 5. The element for this astrological sign is fire. Following with faith, own heart directions. Earnestly looking for own mission, having nearly an endless supply of drive. Very energetic, prefers action rather than planning, takes initiative often. Maybe. All right, now I have to catch up with chat. A bit stubborn like a ram. My Aries was an ex. Very nice lady. We ended amicably. Competitive, aggressive. I used to be competitive and aggressive. I feel like that's left my body. He was stubborn. I'm stubborn. No good. Not like I could choose to date a certain sign. Come on. Aries is the youngest of the zodiac, but I feel like with astrology, I've met many different Aries, Pisces, Capricorns. Ugh, my moon sign is Aries, apparently. See, I don't know anything about that. So you guys got to teach me all about this. Currently with a Cancer. He does not act like Cancer is supposed to traditionally act. Huh. Also a Gemini. Everyone thinks you're two-faced. I see. I don't know what any of this stuff means. I can tell you guys about the Enneagram a little bit. I don't know a ton of in depth about the Enneagram, but I have no idea what you guys are talking about because I know nothing about the astrology signs and all that kind of stuff. This is all really fascinating to me, though. It's just fun talking about this and trying to figure it all a bit. Personality lab. Get to know yourself with the Enneagram test. Yeah. The one that you linked isn't the same exact test. You have to pay for that test on the Enneagram site. So don't pay for it. Just take a free test. I think you could start that test that you just sent. It's 100 questions. If you have two personalities, if you have two faces, better chance one is hotter. It seems like a decent test. Some of the questions are really vague on those. They're hard to know because I feel like the questions that they give me on personality tests, I feel like are really situational. Like in some cases, I would do one thing, and other cases, I would do another thing completely. Yeah, I don't know too much about this. I'm sure there's sites analyzing all the Harry Potter people with what sign they are. Moon sign or whatever. Moon sign is really your emotions. Sun sign is your ego and motivation. And ascendant is the image you project on into the world. Which one is a good test for the Enneagram? I think the one that you actually linked, June, might be one of the better ones. I think I took that. Yeah, I took this one. There is one that is probably the best one, but that's a paid one that you take on the actual site that I linked. So if you go to Testing Center and you go take the test, you have to actually pay for it, which stinks. But some of the other tests will tell you what you are. Like that one that you sent, that can tell you what you are. Jables, it was great having you. Have a good night. I'm probably gonna head off in a second too, so we're not here for crazy long. But it's fun just chatting about this. Yeah, it is a long test, so like got to block out a little bit of time to do that. All the planets play a factor, though. If you have your birth time, you can get a birth chart, and it will show you where all the planets lie and what houses they're in. Each house is something. That is a rabbit hole. When you're talking about houses, I'm thinking about the houses of Hogwarts, not the houses of the planets that they're in. Although that's actually kind of fascinating to me. Although I did hear once that like the whole thing is debunked because they changed the calendars, and I forgot what it is, like a Gregorian calendar versus a non-Gregorian calendar. I don't know. It is pouring out by me right now. It is raining so hard. 12 houses. Dang, that's nuts. Ooh, old school and new school. I love a good old school and new school debate, to be honest. That stuff is kind of fun. I'm just gonna stick with Hogwarts and the Enneagram. And the Myers-Briggs. I feel like Myers-Briggs is probably the best one. I remember taking the Myers-Briggs when I was in high school. My dad was like, "Oh, we should all take it," and we did it. And I was like, "Wow, this thing kind of nailed me." I feel like in Myers-Briggs, though, you change over certain periods of time. I feel like I wouldn't be exactly my same high school self. I hope I wouldn't be my exact high school self. But the thing that I get most when I take the Myers-Briggs is INFP or INFJ. I actually forget. Yeah, more personality based for sure. I think it's like more like psychologically based, but those even have their issues with it. Like the one thing that I hate sometimes is I'm glad that none of you guys are doing this, but like when people like break up with a boyfriend or a girlfriend because like, you know, an Enneagram or a Myers-Briggs test or an astrological test says that they're not compatible. I'm like, people are different. They're not just like boiled down to these one or two things. People are complex. Snape, if you will, a complex man. You got INFJ. My Myers-Briggs is INTP. It's the same as Einstein. That's pretty cool. I get consistently, which is a funny thing. Whenever I do those tests, I consistently get the same as Vincent Van Gogh. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I love Van Gogh or Van Gogh. And Varys from Game of Thrones. I love that. Yeah, you either click or you don't. Agreed. You go with your gut. And there's like things like those tests can help you like see some of your where your like problems will lie and help you learn how to problem solve with that other person. But I think two people can always learn how to problem solve with each other. You know? Goes for friendships too. I completely agree. I am with you on that. All right, guys. We'll do an option tonight for children's book. We'll end with a good children's book as we always do. Here's option 1. Miss Rumphius. I dated a girl, and she was so into this story. And I went to Barnes and Noble with her, and I've only just learned about this book, and it was beautiful, and she really loved this. But we mutually ended. I really, really liked her, but it just wasn't really going to work out. She lived in Brooklyn. I lived in New Jersey. It was too far. She was the coolest. She was so cool. I really liked her. But she read this book in Barnes & Noble to me, and I was like, that is a beautiful book. So this is option number 1. Miss Rumphius. Some people call it the Lupine Lady. That's what she called it. The next one we could possibly read, The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein or Steen, however you want to say it. An absolute classic of children's literature. One of the best children's books ever written. So good. I'm selling all of these. Or we can go with Ryan Howard in The Book with No Pictures. One of the best children's books that's probably been written in the last 10 years, to be honest. The writing of this is just great and how it makes kids laugh. It's so good. Yeah, she did read it to me. It's my weakness. Read a children's story to me, and I'm yours. Because I love children's stories too. So, like, if you know me, you know, like, I'm going to read you The Fate of Fausto and all these children's stories because I love them. The Book with No Pictures, that's the vote number 1. Any other votes? It is romantic. Reading children's stories to each other, it's the best. Anytime I go to Barnes & Noble or any bookstore now, the first place that I go to is in the children's section. So far, this is the one. Go with Mr. Howard. It's a really well-written book, guys. He nails comedic beats so well. I remember reading this to my nieces and nephews, and they loved it. It's not crazy deep. It's like a bedtime story. I don't really need to like show you this. Wait. I'll just show you it. Why not? All right. Let me get comfortable here as we read. All right, here we go. Any questions? Yes. Can I talk to you privately about our relationship? This is a book with no pictures. It might seem like no fun to have someone read you a book with no pictures. Probably seems boring and serious, except here is how books work. Everything the words say, the person reading the book has to say, no matter what. That's the deal. That's the rule. So that means even if the words say blork, wait, what? That doesn't even mean anything. Blurf? Wait a second, what? This isn't the kind of book I wanted to read. And I have to say every word the book says? Uh-oh. I am a monkey who taught myself to read. Hey, I'm not a monkey. And now I am reading you this book with my monkey mouth and my monkey voice. That's not true. I'm not a monkey. Yes, I am a monkey. Also, I am a robot monkey. What? And my head is made of blueberry pizza. Wait a second. Is this whole book a trick? Can I stop reading, please? No? And now it's time for me to sing you my favorite song. A song, do I really have to sing a... Glug, 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 my face is a bug. I eat ants for breakfast right off the rug. What? This book is ridiculous. Can I stop reading it? No. There are more pages. I have to read them to rest. My only friend in the whole wide world is a hippo named Boo Boo Butt. Boo Boo Butt. And also, the kid I'm reading this book to is the best kid ever in the history of the entire world. Oh, really? And this kid is the smartest kid, too, because this kid chose this book even though it had no pictures. Because kids know this is the book that makes grown-ups have to say silly things and make silly sounds like... Oh, no. Oh, no, here it comes. Glurun, gawako, blaggity, blaggity, glibbity, globbity, glibbity, globbity, bleep, boop, bagadooey, I do, broog, broog, broog. Oh, my goodness. Please don't ever make me read this book again. It's so silly. In fact, it is completely and utterly preposterous. Next time, please, 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 please choose a book with pictures. Please, because this is just too ridiculous to read. The end. Bonk. I didn't want to say that. It's a great children's book to read at night. You know, it doesn't have like a crazy great, and it's not like a book filled with like a cute little message that you want your kids to get. But it's like, that's such a fun, it's just like a fun story to read to your kids. I could tell like my nieces and nephews, I read this to them and they're like, oh, you have to read that another night. It was so fun. It's such a great little book. Like you read it to your kids and you're like, oh my gosh, they're gonna want you to read that book every single night. It's one of those. It's great. And guys, Ryan Howard wrote that. Isn't that so cool? I love that so much. It's great, Katie. Have to get it. I will, guys. I got a list of recommendations for children's books. I'm meeting all your Christmas needs. It's a fun little cute book, right? Those words are pictures. They kind of are pictures. Oh, that is perfect for your daughter to learn how to read. That book is absolutely perfect for her to learn to read. I love that so much. Another great Ryan. The power of words. The power of Ryan's writing words. You guys are the best. I love these so much. These streams are so much fun to just hang out and chill with you guys and joke around and read children's stories and watch Harry Potter. The absolute best. Okay, so the hippo named Boo Boo Butt. That's the one my nephews always die laughing at. They love it. Ooh, the Epic of Gilgamesh. That's a good one to read to them. There's some great ones. Yeah. Let me go over the schedule and then we'll break. I'm going to bed. We have a lot of streams coming up this week probably. I don't know the exact schedule because I'm still working it out with all the season 1 and season 2 crew. But we will probably do something on Tuesday. There's not going to be anything tomorrow on Monday. Actually, the podcast is going to be released. The last podcast we did with Jen and Danny and Kristen, that one's going to be released tomorrow on like all podcast platforms. Then Tuesday, we're probably going to do a stream. I'm guessing it's going to be with the season 1 crew. They seem to be available Tuesday, so we got to schedule probably a live read. So that'll be a live read of chapters 10 and 11. And then later in the week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, we will probably do a stream with Abby to keep her on Chamber of Secrets. And then Abby is going to probably ramp up her reading a little bit for Chamber of Secrets. So we'll probably crank those out once a week, if not more. And then maybe on the weekend, on like a Saturday morning, not positive about that yet, we might do the book discussion with Danny, Kristen, and Jen. I still have to ask them when they're available for that one, but that'll be the discussion on the discussion on chapters 10 and 11. Can't join the weekday streams, but have fun. Bummer. That's all right. It's always going to be available on YouTube after if you want to watch it on YouTube, or just like, I do change the audio quality as well. So if you guys just want to skip some of the live streams, they're not the greatest audio quality because it's hard to mix and master live. But it sounds better when I actually edit it. So like tomorrow's episode is going to sound better. I'll probably, and the blank spaces. So if we don't stream on Wednesday or Thursday, that's a night that I have free that I will probably stream. I might stream during the day on Thursday too. Not positive about that yet. But I'll probably play some Legacy then. And then in the weekend, on the night that I have off in the weekend, if we don't do the podcast, I'll probably, or maybe sometime this week, we'll probably do like the 20th anniversary documentary thing that they made. That'd be fun to watch that. So I'll probably do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Wolfric will post the live read recordings later. He's the best with that. I love that he's doing that. Because I can't do that because copyright issues. I don't want our channel to get taken down. But if other people are doing that, it works for me. Because he's doing it on Vimeo too, and Vimeo is a little less strict with all that kind of stuff. You can kind of get away with that. But that's kind of the rough schedule for the week. So it's a busy week coming up. We're just going to keep plowing away at these books. I love these books so much. I'm very excited to keep going into them. But that's the schedule. Thanks for joining, guys. This was fun to watch this movie. We just finished a series. I'm like a little sad that we finished the series, but we're gonna keep watching different movies. And then whenever I do make this other channel, I'll probably make it sometime, maybe not tomorrow, but sometime this week. I'll make like another movie watching channel. It's called Obsession. The good kind of obsession, as we all know. I'll share the link in Discord, and if anybody wants to just join, I'll probably make a whole nother Discord for that as well, maybe, where we can all watch it together. So that'll probably be the plan for that. But guys, have a good night. This was a pleasure as always. I love hanging out with you guys. You guys are the best. Sleep well, or good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're at. And I will see you guys sometime this week.